Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Welcome to another episode of The Morning Glow. Got a great broadcast down for you this morning, as I hope and I pray that we always do. We're gonna kick this thing off, man. I'm not important. I'm just a question asker. I'm just a question asker. But let me see. We got a few people in here. Good morning, boss. Good morning, Milo Valdez. Good morning to you all. And each and every one of you that's coming on with us this morning, definitely appreciate each and every one of you. As I said, I'm not important, I'm just a question asker, but this is my
Who
brother from
are
another mother, but we
you?
got the same father. This is Ibrahim. Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Well, good morning. Assalamu alaikum to Allah and all blessings from the Creator. Yeah,
Walaikum
I'm doing
assalam,
all
brother.
right this morning. I
Yes,
tell you
sir.
what, I went to the Atlanta Jazz Festival last night. It was off
Mm,
his name. I
come
mean,
on
man,
now.
singing, the music, it was raining, it was lightning, but look here, that didn't dampen the proceedings. Everybody
Man,
stayed
look
and
here.
hung in there till the last beat was played. You know what I mean? And they were still hanging
Sound
out
like
there when I
y'all
left.
sound like y'all jammed up a storm, brother.
Oh yeah. That's what thing I like about Atlanta. 45 years of the free jazz, free. Did I say that word
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm,
Free.
come on
Jazz.
now. Now,
Yeah.
what was this at? What was it at, brother?
Oh, it was over the Piedmont Park. It's been going on 45 years. Every summer,
Mm,
missed the coronavirus missed a couple years, right? But
yeah.
man, they have major entertainment, major thing. I can't remember the lady's name last night because we got back in so late after all the enjoyment and sitting out there in the sun and the rain and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and all the enjoyment and everything that I'm so my brain still frazzled. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
is. I mean, you really have to go to experience it. The Atlanta Jazz Festival. I mean, it's like 3 days. I only got a chance to see the last day, but three
Mm-hmm.
days of just party. They got all kind of food out there. They got bars aligned around the place, right? Didn't have
Mm.
I didn't see no trouble, no violence. Everybody was just grooving and vibing. You know what I mean? But
Hey, look.
I had to make sure that you know what I'm saying, I'm protected. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
oh yeah,
other
oh
than
yeah,
that,
oh yeah.
it was a great time. It was a great spiritual
Mhm.
almost. You know?
There you go. There you go. Hey, that sounds good, man. As a matter of fact, next year, if God said the same, I want to go with you, brother.
All right, brother, let's do it.
Yeah, 'cause I love me. I'm gonna tell you something now. I
Yeah,
love me some jazz, man. I love me some good
Mm-hmm.
jazz. It-
You would love the weekend, man.
mhm.
You might catch a little bit on TV. I got a couple of clips I might try to send you on Messenger. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
A
Do
couple
that.
of clips, man. Yeah. It's right out there. I mean, all you gotta do, we brought brought one of those umbrella tents,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and we had our cooler. I don't drink, but my wife had a vino and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
and we
Mm-hmm.
had some fruit, watermelon fruit, some fruit stuff like that. It was too
Okay.
hot for me to eat. 'Cause I don't like to eat when it's real hot and humid
No,
like that.
me either. Me
But
either.
just cold fruit, cold bottles
Mm-hmm.
of water. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? And that was it for me. And I was laid back, had my seat chair, I
Mm.
sit up right, just like every day. The joints was working. I wasn't aching, like I was able to get up out of a chair. One of
Just
them lungs,
enjoy
I was able to
yourself.
get up out of that. I thought that was ooh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was in the
And,
right place.
and ain't nothing like
The sisters,
all right, now,
the
now don't you get in no
women.
trouble. Now, see, you're doing good. You about to get yourself in trouble. See, you about to get yourself. Yeah. You better peep around that corner. Yeah, yeah. You better peep around that corner. Okay, all right. Don't make me yell out. What you say about them women?
Yeah. My wife said,
Don't make
"That's
me.
your type, man." I said, "No, she that's your type."
Yeah.
You used to look like that back in the day. I'm still like that now. So
See you want to make that ride home real quiet, don't you? Yeah, that ride home is gonna be very quiet, brother.
man, by the
Then
time
hey,
we got back home and stopped by one of them restaurants downtown, JJ Cricket, man, and had a couple of them wings, got a couple of them wings and
hmm,
another one of them beer and stuff.
yeah, yeah.
It was a smooth ride home. Oh, I enjoyed it so much. I said I enjoyed it too.
Me too. I just reminiscing to what you used to look like.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, that was cool. I thought of that shit. That's
Lord,
a fool,
Lord,
boy.
see it. And look, I'm not gonna help you get in trouble, brother. I'm not gonna help you get in trouble.
But
You
man,
trying to
it's,
get me to help you get in trouble.
hi. They do those whites. Oh, no.
Brother. We got to sit down real soon though. We had a meet over the thing. We got to sit down real soon, brother, and talk about some things, man. I wish you could have made it out to the Redeemed Award as well, because that was
I'm
man. You'd have definitely enjoyed that, man. It was real nice. A couple of my brothers came out too, man. And it was a very good evening. It was very
I
good.
wish
We
I
we
wish I
already
could.
talked. We already talking about next year, brother. What we're gonna do
Mhm.
next year? How we gonna do this thing next year? We're
Mhm.
already talking about it. So definitely, moving forward, we'll definitely have you on board with us about the redeemed divorce.
Alhamdulillah,
Now,
alhamdulillah.
I wanted to extend, and I'm waiting on everybody to get here. People should be coming in just a few minutes, but I wanted to extend the conversation that we started yesterday
Mhm.
about the elderly responsibilities that the
Mhm.
elderly have to the young people and the young people have to the elder. Captain Leonard, there you go, there you go. What's going on, sir?
Right.
I want I wanted to extend the conversation that we had about responsibilities, um, the responsibility that the elderly have to the youth and the youth have to the elderly. What is that responsibility? What? Okay, we got something fancy going on over here. Captain Leonard got something fancy going on what Captain Leonard got. Hey, Ibrahim, center yourself, brother. Center
Yeah.
yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the responsibility, man. What the responsibility that the elderly have to the youth and the youth have to the elderly. I want to talk a little bit about that, man. And do we understand in our communication and in our interactions with each other? Do we
Mhm.
really understand what that responsibility is? Ibrahim, start us off. What do you say to that?
Well, I think the responsibility is clearly understood and written, but a lot of people have their own angers and their egos that's getting in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's responsibility simply of the elders to take care and provide guidance for their community.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think we forget in all our angst and everything that once a woman is married into a community or to a family, she's never single. She's always married into the family. She's always
Mm-hmm.
protected and cared for and everything. And she does the same for the other families and the
Mm-hmm.
children in the family, right? And I think that we forget this how important it is to have that communal unit. That's so much important. And
Mm-hmm.
but we try to put labels on like communism, socialism, democracy, and all like that, rather than that's that humanism that it takes to have a parent or parents. It's
Mm-hmm.
something. We talked about one time. We talked about a long time ago in the neighborhood. If you messed up down the street, right, Aunt Sally or the lady down the street and everything, she tag you and then she go on that party line and call your mama and you going up the street, everybody try to get a piece of you, get up there and your mama said, boy, you embarrassed the family and bang, bang. Where did your daddy go? No, mama. Do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's
Yeah.
don't bother
Yeah.
daddy. Daddy
Yeah.
tired when he come off from work, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
so so it's that community. And then if you're hungry, you don't worry about your hungry. Everybody in the community know you know your mama, y'all having a hard time, place doors open for you. Or everybody try to tell us that they food better than your mama's food. It was just such a community that
Mm-hmm.
you feel so much love from everybody. You feel safe. If you got hurt, something the first house you went to, man, I heard that she go there and she call your mama and she go do what she could for you and everything. Your mama come down there and get you or whatever. But it was
Mm-hmm.
just that kind of love and community that you have to make a community successful and prosperous. And then
Are you
you think
saying? Are
about
you saying, Ibrahim? Are you saying that no longer exists?
that no longer exists. It no longer exists. You might have maybe, if you're lucky, one or two big mamas in the community.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody don't want you to touch their child. They don't want you to say nothing to them. They want to be educated the way they want. They don't know what they want to do. They want to holler. All they know is how to holler and scream and come to people. I had a sister that was a principal in the school and a sister principal in the school. And what I seen, it was just like terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was a bad kid, but I see these kids now, they had no respect. No
Mm-hmm.
respect for authority, parents, the teachers, and everything, and the parents don't have no respect.
Mhm.
You
Hold
know,
on, Ibrahim, stay right there, brother, because I'm loving where you're going with this. Let me pull cap. We got a few people on the phone line. I want to get to them as well. I know everybody got something to say on this particular topic right here. But Leonard, what do you say? We're talking, we extending our conversation based on responsibility. Where does the responsibility lie? Elderly to the young people to the elderly. Is it based on a breakdown of communication? Do they not understand what the responsibilities are? Leonard, what are we up against?
Well, you cannot expect for communities you have not cultivated.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not really big on, um, let's put it this way, I have family,
Mm-hmm.
but those people are usually related to me through blood or my parents designated a relationship with them that
Mm-hmm.
I should respect.
That you
I
should
don't,
respect.
Yes, I don't do strangers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you are a stranger, you can't possibly hope to be in other people's lives this way.
Mm-hmm.
And this, I can talk about a Christian community. There are communities set up certain ways and they interact certain ways,
Mm-hmm.
but not necessarily based on the color of skin.
Mm-hmm.
That's the issue.
The color of skin is the issue.
Yes, you place too much emphasis on the color of skin
Mm-hmm.
being something that innately ties us together.
Mm-hmm.
When
So basically, what I'm hearing you say is a bad person is a bad person, regardless of their color, and a good person gonna be a good person, and it has nothing to do with the color of their skin. It's based on
right,
the content of the person. Okay.
yes, I believe
Okay.
people believe it's the color of skin due
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
the circumstance of having been slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Without that past,
Who think more that way? The ones that was a slave, or the one that was a quote unquote slave owner?
the older people.
Oh, the older people.
Yeah, you shouldn't have any. See, we don't have slave owners in my community.
Mm-hmm.
You
Well,
can't be in our community.
naturally, yeah. Naturally, we talk about the former slave owner, the people that own slaves. Well, I'm asking you, and maybe I'm a little clumsy in my delivery. Who has more of that mindset? Who has more of that mindset? Is it the ones that were at one point or has a history of past history of being a slave, or the past history of being a slave owner? Who thinks more along those lines?
No, I believe it's more so those individuals who are of that generation
Mm-hmm.
after slavery
Okay.
who had to stick together for their own livelihood.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's that generation. Those people that may be around um, 80 years old or so now. Now I hear y'all are very nostalgic about it,
Mm-hmm. Y'all.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
because one, yes, we had individuals that we loved and trusted, but just
Mm-hmm.
because you black don't give you the authority to do anything to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay.
You got to be related to me and you have to be in our family.
See, and see what the community that Ibrahim was talking about was just a little bit different from that, because I know too, and maybe it's a how you say everything, geographical. There you go. My mind will work up in a minute. Maybe it's a geographical thing that because up north there was a different mindset than it was down south. Now I grew up down south, and though I have gone up north several times, I know the mindset up there is different. Now down south, if you did something down south, Mr. Jimmy next door saw you doing something down south. Mr. Jimmy, he had the right from your family to straighten him up. If you see him doing something, straighten him up. Up north, it wasn't so much that way.
No,
Hold
yes,
on.
it was. Yes, it was. It
No.
was like that. If somebody knew you,
Mm-hmm. Well,
they could discipline you.
well, see, and I want to go to the phone lines, but my thing is, right, we're not talking about a total stranger, though. And sometimes, um, strangers would step in. I ain't gonna say they would discipline you, but back in the day, they would step in and say, "Hey, man, you know that ain't right, man. I don't know who's your mom or who's your dad,
Right.
because
You could
what
still
you
do
doing."
that. You can tell my parents
Mm-hmm,
anything.
mm-hmm, yeah. So
But you're
there's a lot.
not my but you're not my mother.
No, no, you're not. But again, Leonard, I say it goes back to the community. Hold right there for a second. Let me pull. I got a couple of brothers on the phone line. I'm gonna pull them in as well. And everybody, we talking this morning. This. Let's call this Tuesday talk. We're gonna talk Tuesday talk. That's what we're gonna do this morning. So Rico, good morning. You was next on the totem pole, brother. What's good morning? How you doing this morning?
Man, I can't complain. Welcome to a new day.
Hey, welcome to you as well, brother. What's on your heart, man? We're talking responsibility. We're doing the extension that we said we was going to do this morning based on what we talked about yesterday. We got a new title for Tuesday. It's going to be called Tuesday Talk. So let's talk.
But I'm glad you brought this topic back up, man, because I had hit you and asked you to do it.
Yeah.
Even though you said it before we got off, because something Badger said yesterday that struck a nerve, and it wasn't that it came from his heart. He repeated something he's heard,
Yeah,
and something I've been hearing and seeing on a regular basis. And that was the comment that these older people need to just die and get on out the way. And so, that really is an indication of just how garbage the value system is. I don't know how y'all got on race. I ain't gonna even go to a race because this is a mankind thing. This is a tradition versus trend thing. This is a generation thing where we have the newer generations. Every generation that comes along, they are more desensitized and less appreciative of life.
Mm-hmm.
They're more destructive, and they actually sound like people that actually make bombs, atomic bombs and nuclear bombs. They sound like warmongers. They sound like people that say, well, hey, man, we don't want diplomacy. We just want to bomb them back to the Stone Ages. Death is no problem. They say, you know what? He criticized black women, so it's karma, bloop, and they laugh about a man dying. So, I think about the fact that somehow the ball got dropped. Somehow we lost our priorities and we lost our value system because we don't value life as much. And that is really an indication on how tradition has not stayed in place. I don't know if modernization has done it. I don't know what has happened in the communities, in the human community, for people to not value other people's lives as much as we should. The priority to have people die so you can take control or so you can have your way to implement your will. Not understanding that, man, that was a complete civilization, centuries and centuries of civilizations that existed before you. And some of these civilizations are wiped out. Mankind has almost probably reached extinction itself a couple of times. We had the Cold War era. We are witnesses to this, being under the threat of a nuclear war. They had us all under that fear mongering. They got these many nukes. They got that many nukes. We're at the doomsday hour on the clock and this and that. And so, that mindset that we come to where life is so expendable and civilizations have almost ended in the past and almost on the brink of it again, somehow you need that tradition from your elders to keep you from going back and repeating that. We don't want to go through another era or another case where people are really being lost, being made to become extinct. We have too many stories in history of tribes becoming extinct. The Taino Indians, that's complete life wiped out. The Tanzanians wiped out, no existence of them, all due to the hand of other men. So, I can't, I know how it got on race, but the bigger picture is mankind has completely lost the regards for life, the appreciation of life. And with that happening, there had to be the tradition in the older people, the older generation, dropping the ball and not actually spending quality time with the younger generation to actually teach them and show them what was more important, the priorities in life, the goal, the purpose.
Hey Rico, you're stepping ahead of me a little bit because I wanted to go there a little later about this, but now that we're here, let me go ahead and ask you. Yes, it's the old. Well, I ain't gonna say old. It's the elderly responsibility to teach the youth. Is to pass it on to make sure that that the ball is not dropped. It's their responsibility to do that. But is it also the youth responsibility to learn and to listen? Because a lot of times we get in a situation where they would say, man, that's an old head, man. He don't know nothing, or she don't know nothing, can't tell me nothing. And sometimes the youth are getting in a situation where the elderly want to teach them, but the youth just don't want to listen. Rico?
I think that happens both ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think it happens both ways because people don't understand the relay concept. You got to pass the baton.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because in this race of life, you know what I'm saying, it never ends.
Mm-hmm.
If you know your history, that, like I said, that's the whole purpose in us teaching our history, because knowledge is so key to the fact that you know what to expect in the future. A lot of people's agendas and purpose in life. So if the purpose is to make sure you can survive, you can provide for your family, your community is safe, or your people don't go through what your people went through in the past. You need to know what they went through in the past, the successes and their failures, so you don't go back and get stuck in the same situation or worse.
Mm-hmm. And that's my point.
See, now that you are in a race against some people that's competing against you, and you shouldn't be competing, but now you know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me pass you the baton, young man, so you don't have to listen to your grandchild say the same thing your grandparents told you they went through.
Exactly. Let me go to Curtis. Curtis, good morning. How you doing this morning? Curtis, you there?
What up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, Captain? What's going on with you, man? we're talking responsibility. We're talking responsibility, man. This is Tuesday talk, and we're gonna talk about this thing, man. What where is the divide between the elderly and the youth? Where's the divide, man? Who, like Rico, whoever said Rico used, who dropped the ball? Was it is it the is the elder responsibility to teach the young? Is it the young responsibility to listen? Do anybody even care, Curtis?
I don't think nobody cared no more.
Talking to your phone, brother. You're a little bit low.
I said I don't think nobody cared anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just gonna keep it all with. I don't think nobody care anymore.
Mm.
You know, nobody. I think one of the biggest problems in today's society is honesty. The fact that people are not plugged into. People are not plugged into spirit anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can say that because you know, try to set by as an adult, as an elderly.
Okay, we get a lot of movement on somebody's line. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from. There's a lot of freaking going on in the line. I want to make sure it's clear what's being said. But somebody's doing a lot of moving there. Okay, go ahead, Curtis.
So let me just get my seatbelt. Let me put my seatbelt on.
Okay.
Now, what I was saying, you know, in all honesty, you know, you know, as an elderly, I gotta sit back and watch. I gotta sit back and I gotta watch public ignorance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta watch it. It's almost impossible for me to say anything because, you know, like you're not even gonna be receptive to what I'm saying. Can you hear me, Raheem?
Yeah, I can hear you. Uh-huh.
Yeah, like I don't know, man. I really don't. I don't know, man. Like it's just becoming. I just seen something on TV on the Morning Joe show that if you tally all that's killed, black kids killed by cops, law enforcement killed, um, uh, those numbers for the year, those numbers don't outweigh children killed by gun violence. You put all them numbers together, they still don't outweigh children killed by gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
White people killed by cops. And I'm just saying, man, like, I don't know. Rico might have been right last week. Because last week, Rico mentioned something about the a segment in our community has been desensitized, man.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not plugged into your spiritual form and you desensitized, you are basically a walking zombie. I don't know how else to put that.
Mm-hmm.
If everything you do based off the vanity of what people are going to say and or believe about you, that is something ain't right with that, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. I do know the Bible says that the elderly will be with us, the poor and the elderly will be with us always.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I mean, you take a group in society who they might not be as smart as they might not be Rhodes scholars, but they smart enough to pay attention to human behavior and see what you're doing or see what you're allowing to be done either to yourself or to another group. And then you turn around, you want them to respect what you gotta say,
Mm.
or respect where you coming from, when you have not shown them that where you coming from is morally right.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it. I get it on both ends of the spectrum Because also, if I'm an elderly, and here it is, I done lived through this strife, and I done tried to make the best life I could, so these younger folks could have something better. And I don't even get treated like, wow, you know what I mean? Like I get treated like an asset. We watch in government, and I know I only got 3 minutes. We watch in government how every time they need to find some money to give frivolously to somebody, to some corporation or some situation, the first thing they do is they move to cut something from the elderly and cut something from the kids.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. It's a good topic, but I really don't know where the stance is, Ryan. I really don't know what to say, man, because what I'm saying is, this is the.
And see, that's the whole thing. You know, I want everybody to give their view as to what they see or how they perceive it to be. We don't all have to agree with what individuals see, but you know, you're saying it through your eyes. I can't tell you what you see through your eyes. You have to tell me what you see through your eyes. Let me keep this thing going. We got Toussaint and mutual line there, Curtis. We got Toussaint. Toussaint, good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm all right, man. Good morning.
Hey, we're talking about responsibility, man. Is it the elder responsibility to teach the kids? The youth? Is it the youth responsibility to listen? Does anybody care? How do we get to where we are right now, Toussaint? What's on your heart, brother?
We're responsible for each other.
Mm-hmm.
When we go back to the basics, we off track. We're so far off track, we don't know where to find ourselves.
Mm.
And I mean, really, I mean, it's just me. I know you say we all got our own thoughts.
Yeah.
But do anybody know how far off track we have become?
Toussaint, let me ask you this question: do you think most people even care that we are off track?
No, we've become a and I hate to. The only thing that two places I can think that I can see that where we may be at the Tower of Babel and in Sodom and Gomorrah.
Mm-hmm.
Combined.
Wow.
So confused that we can't understand each other, and then we're willing to do any and everything.
Mm-hmm.
To the point that we're about to see the angel of the Lord come and wipe us out for just being disobedient. Just don't care. Who feels that way? And just in case the men come to give us a warning, we're willing to rape them in the street.
Wow.
This is where we are. This is where we are. And if you want a form of communication, when it relates to the young and the old, that's why I say the Tower of Babel, because we don't understand each other because we're speaking different languages.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what they're saying.
Yeah.
I'll be listening, and it's like the girl that on the show, and she was Ryan. You know what I'm talking about?
Which one is that?
Chewing the gum, and she's Byron.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, all of them have that. Not all of them, but for the most part, the conversation is like, I don't know, it's ghetto.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's a norm. It's a norm.
Wow.
And then the bad thing about it is we want to be liked and shared. I don't know. I'm kind of like Curtis. I'm lost for words.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that leads me to a thing where, you know, we're in a sad place. If we can't even articulate where we are, we're in a real bad place. We're not in a good place. I don't think we're in a good place right now, and I think there's some healing that has to happen in order to mend it and get it somewhat, get some semblance of what it used to be. Do people even want that though? Monique, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
Monique, what's on your heart? What do you think about this whole conversation we're talking about right now? We're talking responsibilities. Whose responsibility is it? Is it the old elderly? Is it the young people? Whose responsibility is it? Or do people even care?
I think that it is the responsibility of the elders, but I think what's going on is the elders, I feel, kind of dropped the ball a little bit because I remember I used to go to Grady High School. I used to go there every Friday. I was a soldier then. And we used to always talk to like the young people. And one of the things that I noticed is that they didn't trust. A lot of them didn't even trust their parents.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that the lack of trust from the young people is what's keeping them from really listening to, the seniors. And I know this for myself. I'm in my 50s, and then so I kind of look at for me, at least 15 and older, I kind of see them as my.
Did we lose her? I think we lost her. Monique, are you there? Yeah, I think we lost her. Let me go to Ibrahim. Hold on, I gotta unmute your line. You have some background noise going on there, brother. Let me unmute you. There you go. What's on your heart, Ibrahim?
Oh yeah. I had to go back, because I don't know how we dropped the ball. What elder are you talking about? You talking about the X? Well, hey, I might agree with you on that. Are you talking about my generation, the boomers? Hell, I got kids in their 50s. I got a daughter that's a millennial. I got granddaughters that are millennial. I got great granddaughters that are kids. Now, where did I drop the ball? They still know me as their father. I mean, their grandfather, their great grandfather, right? And so,
I don't think Ibrahim. I don't think it was a personalized statement. I think he was talking as a whole, as a broad statement. You're breaking up a little bit, Ibrahim. You're breaking up a little bit, brother. You're breaking up just a little bit.
I'm saying, let's talk about. I'm breaking up.
Yeah, okay. You're breaking up. Yeah. Okay. Leonard, yeah, that's much better. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ibrahim.
So now, because I was a part of that generation, right? I know what my family did. They weren't able to meet up to expectations. Well, our expectations wasn't as great as the expectations of my exes and the K's, right? They had more openness to a lot of things. You know what I mean? A lot of things were available to them, so they had more greater expectations. But and we talked about. I know we talked about generational, and earlier we were talking about demographics. Like being down south or being in the community, it had nothing to do with slavery. Segregation being slavery, but we know we were dependent upon each other because we weren't allowed access to a lot of other resources. So our resources were developed within. Good thing. We had our businesses, we had our hospitals, blah, blah, blah. So and everybody in the community, everybody had a value. When I was coming up, every kid in the family, they weren't just a child, they had a value. They contributed to the good of the whole. I mean, when you was able to walk at a chore designated for the benefit of the whole family, right? And when you were able to see the same thing, on and on, you had a benefit to the entire family. That was, niggas say, it might have been African culture, it might have been Southern culture, but that's the way African cultures work. The oldest carried the burden of the family to enforce the laws of the family. So I don't see where that we regular delegate, responsibility and authority, right? Because that was passed on. My parents passed it on to me. I try to pass on my children. Now they don't give a
30 seconds, Ibrahim. Got 30 seconds.
Okay, don't give a rat butt how that works, right? But they understand who they go to when they really need some support and help, and to pass it on to their children when they choose support and help. They know where to go.
Okay, good deal, good deal. We got another call from 256 area code. 256 area code. What's your name? Where you calling from? 256 area
Yes,
code. You there?
yes, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name?
Yes, good morning. My name is Hicks from calling from Alabama.
Hey Hicks, how you doing, sir?
I'm hanging in there.
Hey, good deal.
I really appreciate these talks in the morning. It gets my mind stimulated.
That's good deal. To God be the glory. Yes, sir.
I think I'm 73. I just turned. Matter of fact, yesterday is my birthday.
Happy birthday, brother.
I appreciate it. I think we dropped the ball. And we dropped the ball simply because at the time, in the moments of the 60s, I graduated in 1967 in Newark, the year of the riots here. And coming out, being 17, 18 years old, watching National Guards go through the street and the whole political confusion of the era, I was on the cut. I guess I read a lot. So I got caught up in social movements, all of them, over time. The Nation of Islam, Sunni Islam, and revolutionary thought. And I think that even though I served in the military and the Vietnam veteran, I never really read the Constitution. I never really understood the history of its evolution, and the fact that until this experiment in this country, with everything involved with it, is that it's the first time people rule themselves. Before that, it was bloodline, it was popes, it was rulers. So it's been a messy situation. But being my age, and I was born in Alabama, but I grew up in New Jersey. So every summer I came back down south, and I sort of contrast the difference of the in the structure of the family. The South at that point still had that strong family structure, even though people were scattered out in different cities. My mother, all her sisters moved from the South to the North through her. They lived with us at some point in time. That was the old strategy, to get out of the South and get to the cities. And in the cities, well, I won't make this long because it's a long history. I just want to really read the history of Thomas Sowell and so many other ancients that looked at things different. And what it did was it tempered that anger I had as a young man. That anger that was a spark of violence, because I was a violent man. I believe in violence. I believe that it was another tool in the chest. And I believe that I didn't listen to other people's point of view. I was locked into what I believed to be true, and it was me and the others.
Miss Hicks, you got 30 seconds before I have to move on to the next person.
Okay, 30 seconds at this point here. I think that we all need to study history, not the history they gave us in school, not the history that we get from Google. We need to do some real research to find out how things got the way they are. And I don't know how much we can do about it, but at least you can understand the madness around us.
Yeah.
All right, I appreciate you.
Absolutely. And brother, hang out with us, man. You ain't got to go nowhere. I just give everybody 3 minutes when they talk, so I can keep the show moving. So you certainly don't have to go anywhere.
Sure.
Okay. Good deal. Yes, sir. I'm coming back to you. Stay right there. I'm definitely coming back to you. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm just listening. I kind of like with what Ibrahim said. I don't have this experience. I'm still that way. So why other people are not doing it is really no concern of mine. It's my culture. It's my tribe. Just you don't get to be in my tribe just because you black. And one, if you're not taught moral values, we can only hope that you get them along the way. It is your parents' responsibility. See, one thing I don't care for.
I'm gonna stop your time for a second. Let me ask you this question. I pause your time. I understand what you're saying, but let me ask you this question as well. Yes, it is the parents' responsibility, but what if they're in a household where the parents don't know or are not equipped to teach them? Should we as a community step in if we see that there's a need and help that individual that we know that's not getting it from their household? Starting your time back up right now.
We've always done that. We still do that.
Okay.
See, one thing I don't do is I'm not going to sit around and talk about what people ain't doing. Because that ain't none of my business. I can talk about what we should do, what would make things better, but I'm not going to criticize other people in the lives that they live for whatever reason they live them.
Okay. My point was, I didn't want people to think that we were saying we just had a don't care attitude. If you don't get it out of your house, let me pause your time. If you don't get it out of your household, you're not going to get it. I didn't want people to walk away thinking that we were saying that. So what we're saying, we will take the responsibility. If we see that there's a need, we will step in and help and assist. Again, when there's a need. Starting your time back up right now, Leonard.
Yeah, and there's always things that have been there to assist in that. We have we actually have government programs that do that as well. It has nothing to do with what is not available. You can live how you want to live. You're choosing not to. And we're not going to sit here on a Christian radio show and pretend like it's something other than sin. You choose to do what you want to do. You have people talking about unity, and you're not even with your baby mama and them kids you made. Take care of your business first before you start making demands on other people. You can't come to me and your stuff toe all up, trying to tell me how I need to live. Why would I even have the urge to impose myself on my neighbor? We have to have relationship. That relationship has to be built. My mother best friend is my mother. Because was my mother's best friend. She's been there since I came out my mother. She represents as my mother. My mother gave her that permission.
So she had the same rights to when coming up. If you was out of pocket, she had the same right to get that belt, the switch, or whatever it is, and do some correcting.
Yes, it wasn't about that. It was just about presenting a good example for living. That's what it was about. It wasn't about no authority. It was about love. And because I loved you is why I looked out for you.
Okay.
All this notion that strangers gonna look out for this, that, and the other, and you don't know these people, and you don't know their religion, and you don't know how they roll. Be careful. And stop talking about old people. Old ain't really 50. We just call it old.
Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm gonna go back to what Donald said, because he sort of repeated what I wanted to say. I just didn't say it because I ain't all in the religion about Babylon and Sodom and Gomorrah. That's just a little comment I want to make. Seems like he reading my mind. But you know what I heard? And this ain't coming to Ibrahim, but I. Once again, I. Now I can see just in this little conversation what the disconnect is the fact that some people take criticism. It ain't even criticism. It's accountability. You ain't perfect. Everybody's not perfect, but at the same time, if you happen to make a misstep or happen to let something get by you and you slipped and dropped the ball and didn't see it, that ain't a criticism. You just didn't get it. But see, we got to get out our feeling. Get out your feeling, man. You know how many people I've seen, policemen and preachers and this and that, they had a certain character they wanted to portray. And then when you get them behind closed doors and you catch them sipping that liquor, you know that they try to hide because they didn't want you to see that. They wanted to be consistent and lead by example. They didn't want you to know the bad side of what they did. So they tried to hide that from you. Now we are in a generation where people don't hide that no more. They smoke and drinking from their kids. They do the double standard. They go back and say, well, don't do what I do, but do what I say.
Yeah.
The responsibility is that we supposed to both listen to each other. I hate to say the elder generation. I'm going to say the adult generation and the young generation. The adults are supposed to listen to the youth because there have been times that the adults thought they knew everything. And sometimes they thought they knew what was right and they whooped their children, and then they found out later on that they just sat down and listened and got out of their feelings. They would have listened to the children and found out they just whooped them for the wrong reason. You thought you know everything, huh? You slipped, you messed up, didn't you? You whooped them for no reason. People get prosecuted and incarcerated for no reason. But sometimes people don't like to listen. Then they get in their feelings and they feel like They must be talking about me. Well, I don't think you are representing the Crips that taught their sons to be Crips. I don't think you are representing the dope dealers that taught their sons to be dope dealers, or the whores that taught their daughters to be whores.
30 seconds, we go.
But those people do exist. And those people are the ones that dropped the ball. Those are the people that passed on a different tradition than what should have been passed on. So when we say that the older generation dropped the ball, hey, if the shoe don't fit, don't put knots on it. Don't squeeze your foot in there. Because you know what it is. People are in there feeling we're in denial. The youth don't listen to the older generation because they see too much inconsistency and too much entitlement. Because I'm just right because I'm grown. They see that double standard. And then the older generation, they listen to the youth too much because they don't want to let the heyday go. So they want just as many views and likes on YouTube as their children.
Good. Rico, got to keep it moving.
Isn't in charge anymore. Trend is in charge.
Good. Yeah. Hold on. Let me go to hold on. I see you, Ibrahim. Let me go to Mr. Hicks. He's been silent. I'm coming to you, brother. I see you. Mr. Hicks, what's on your heart, brother? Hold on. I think I got Mr. Hicks. I'm muted. Let me unmute him there. Hold on for a second. Okay, now we can hear you, sir. Sorry about that. It has some noise in the background. Mr. Hicks? Mr. Hicks, you there? Okay. Curtis, talk to me, brother. I got you. I ain't forget about you, brother. I ain't forget about you.
Hey, you know what? Mr. Hicks, I believe that is. He said something that made me think, right? It made me search in my mind, man. You know, what we seeing right now, right? Is it safe for me to say that we are at a time in our modern society where we are at the end of a war, right? When you think about it, we just got back from Afghanistan, 20-year war, right? And when Brother Hicks was talking, he made me think for a minute, like, hey, every single time that a society has been at war with another society, that very same war, when that war is over, it's almost like the society at large becomes at war with itself. Because what he made me think about was, he said he was of the Vietnam era, right? Well, when you think about it, what was the fallout after Vietnam? Right? You go back to World War II. What was the fallout after World War II? Like, it was like society buckled as a result of large numbers of men, and now we can say men and women, who were made to go and fight these senseless wars. So, like, honestly, when you think about it, you know, this Afghanistan war, man, that was a 20-year war. So you got people, in all reality, you got people walking around right now that are 60 years old that served in Afghanistan 4 and 5 times. You also got people who are 24 years old that served in Afghanistan 4 and 5 times. So you have a spectrum of folks who are the products or the remnants of a country being at war. So I mean, and I'm not saying it's like it's matter of factly or that it's finite or anything like that. I'm just saying when I heard him say that, that's where my mind went. My mind went to, okay, hold on, man. Like, he made me think. I wanna go with the Sodom and Gomorrah thing, right? As a spiritual being, I want to go with that, but here's my only take on the Sodom and Gomorrah thing. There's still one left. If y'all remember, Lot couldn't find one. He couldn't find one. So I appreciate that one that's left, because probably that one that's left, whomever that is the only reason God just said, look, man, just we go out. I'm done with him. You know what I mean? But it when the brother said something about being in Vietnam and being the product of Vietnam, you know, like I couldn't help but think about it. I mean, after Vietnam, we had drug wars, we had mob wars. I mean, people was dying, dropping like flies. At the end of
Wrap it up for
World War
II.
At the end of World War II, we had mob wars that was killing whole families, man. Whole families was being extinct. You know what I mean? The black community was being pushed all the way not to the ground. They was being pushed in the gutter. So I can't.
Gotta move on, Curtis.
Y'all got me thinking this morning, man. Go ahead.
Good deal. Good deal. Hold right there. I'm gonna come right back to you. Ibrahim, you had something on your heart, brother. What's on your heart? Ibrahim, we can't hear you. There you go.
Oh, you hear me? You can't. Hold on.
Yeah, we got you. Go ahead. We can hear you. We can hear you. Go ahead, Ibrahim.
No, see, okay, what happened was basically, you know, I've been called out, and taken it personally, right? But you know what? I take responsibility for my action and inaction, right? Number one, right? That's an adult. Number two, I had real life experience. Now you generalizing about my time in life. People call it slavery. People say we did this, we didn't do that. Now I lived that life. I'm still here now. I'm 71. I was a gentleman when he talked about Vietnam. I know his experience, but his perspective on his experience was different from my perspective of that experience, right? And religion. Okay, it's a Christian channel, but you know what? I'm black. I'm here because y'all black. I'm black. We have mutual experiences, or maybe not so mutual experiences, right? We're sharing, right? Now I'm not a Christian. I abhor certain parts of Christian religion. I know more about Christian religion than a lot of Christians do. They believe in faith, right? Now we want to talk, then we'll talk. But look, no experience and belief, right? Y'all, a lot of people dealing on no experience and belief, so they're dealing with feelings. I'm dealing with fact, or my fact, or my period of time. So don't dismay anything that I say, because I'm not dismaying anything you say. My experience was different, but at least I'm trying to share with you what really happened. I was involved in the civil rights movement when I was 17. I knew Martin King. I met Martin King when I was 13 at a bowling alley. I worked for him when I was 17, right? I knew Stokely Carmichael and H. Rap Brown. I worked with them, right? I knew the Black Panthers. I was part of Black Panthers early, right? I worked with brothers that now came out of Vietnam. You know, they did from the group came out of. What I'm saying is I got the experience. If you're going to use me, use me. But if you're going to say that we dropped the ball and this, that, and other, you feel different than I do, you're talking out of your beliefs and your feelings. Right? I'm talking about real life experience. You can say we dropped the ball, and I dropped the ball, not making this clear, right? You can listen to what I say and say it's personal, I. Because that is I am the I. This is my life, right? You know what I'm saying? So you might negate my experiences.
30 seconds, Ibrahim. 30 seconds. Okay, good deal.
I'm gone.
Charles,
done, bro. Done.
Hold on. Charles, you're ready to come to you, man. But the way I do it on here, man, when somebody says something towards somebody, I like to give them opportunity to respond to what was being said. Charles, be on standby. Coming to you next. Rico, you have anything on your heart, brother?
Yeah, once again, that wasn't a discredit to him. That was the point being made that he can't represent those that did something wrong. Maybe he did something wrong. That shoe don't fit nowhere. But to stay in denial that the ball wasn't dropped, you would be dismissing and not listening to the younger generation that saw the ball drop. The ones that was raised by their granddad, about an uncle, about a dope dealer because their daddy wasn't around, because he was too busy being a Rolling Stone or doing his thing. You get what I'm saying? I mean, we just heard Mr. Hicks say what he came back from Vietnam and did. You know, a lot of things that happened to people that came back from Vietnam, that was a phenomenon. That was a whole new culture that they brought back, doped up on heroin. That didn't happen in the black community. They didn't know nothing about no heroin. The biggest problem we had was with alcoholics and bootleggers, moonshine runners. They got introduced to a whole different culture. And in the process of them being introduced to that culture, they brought back and introduced other people to it, and they created a different phenomenon. You can see videos and documentaries from the past where women and young girls said that they didn't think they needed a man in a house to have a family. That's out of order. But somehow somebody dropped the ball and made them believe that. Oh, guess what? Her mama felt the same way. So somebody didn't inform them properly of how important teamwork is, assistance is, raising a child together is. That family structure. That's just one example of how the ball got dropped. But oh no, we're gonna ignore the fact that our two-parent household system is garbage right now compared to what it was in the 50s and 60s. Oh, nobody dropped the ball. Nobody dropped the ball. See, that's the whole point. If the children and all the victims of this are pointing out the fact that the adults didn't prepare them correctly, the adults have to accept that. And the adults also have to accept the fact that they need to listen to the children so they can understand how things evolve, because the racism has evolved. Right now, older people will say, man, y'all got it good. Y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. Y'all ain't got to worry about racism. But some of these young cats will come back and tell you, yes, we do. It evolved. Just like technology. Just like everything in this world evolves. So that therefore it is the responsibility of both the adult generation
30 seconds, Rico,
and the young generation to listen to each other.
That's good. That's good. And see, that's why I like to, everybody got their own perspective as to how they feel about everything. And I love being on a platform where we actually voice our opinion as to what we don't all have to agree. We're not going to always agree. And only thing that an individual could do is tell from their perspective as to what they see. We may see things different. Martin Luther King said one thing that I love when he said it. He said we could have different ways to get to the top of the mountain, but once we get to the top of the mountain, once we get there, and we still traveling right now, we're still going to searching for the top of the mountain. But once we get there and we look out, our view is going to be the same. But we have to travel to get there, and that's what we're doing right now. Let me go to Tucson. Keep being silent for a while. Then Charles will come to you. Tucson, what's on your heart, brother? Tucson?
Yeah. What I have learned to do is, and I'm learning more than ever, to respect. I don't have to agree with you, but I'm going to respect your point of view, because sooner or later, even let me see how I want to say this. The way that another person carries themselves gonna affect me sooner or later. Let me tell you why I say that. Because there were some people in the next neighborhood that we kept out of our neighborhood. I'm trying to head somewhere.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. There were some people that carried themselves in a certain kind of way that wasn't acceptable in our house. Okay, but sooner or later, that mentality became part of where we were. I don't even know how I'm making sense. What I'm saying is, them people that were down the street, or in the next state, or in the next country, sooner or later, it came and it started affecting the home. It started becoming part of our community. Little by little.
Yeah.
We wasn't paying no attention to it, but we had to, because it started affecting us when we went to school. Those people that didn't train their children, they were drug dealers, doing this and that and the other, it started affecting us sooner or later, because we had to be in communication with them people. And now, I don't even know if I'm trying to make sense, but I'm not, and I know I'm not. But what I'm saying is, now we live in a society that what you saw way over there, you see it right here, close and personal. And because we said, okay, it's not my business, now it is, because we are all affected. I don't even know if I'm making sense right here.
Are you saying we're negating our responsibilities?
Yeah, we are, because you can't even do nothing about same-sex marriage now, because everybody want to do it.
Wow.
And the laws are backing it. And you voted them in.
Wow.
So when you say, why is it that we say that it's not our issue? And I'm not saying that anybody is. I'm just in the conversation. Okay. To the point where now, hey, what you gonna do about it? I mean, you're trying to find a solution to it, I don't know. I'm gonna just bail out right now.
Okay, good deal. Good
Maybe
deal.
I'll come back in with something that makes sense.
I'm sure you will, brother. I'm sure you will. Charles, good morning. How you doing this morning? Hold on, we got you muted there, brother. Let me unmute you. There you go.
What's up, man?
What's going on with you? We're talking about everybody. Hey, good morning to you, brother. We're talking about the responsibility. Is that who does more responsibility lay on the elderly to teach the young people to listen to the elderly? Do anybody really care? How do we get to the point where there's such a divide between the ages, if you will?
There's always been a divide between ages.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have, especially when you don't have honor, you're not taught honor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, honor your elders, respect your elders. When you're not taught those things.
Hold on, Charles. I'm gonna pause your time just for 1 second. Let me throw this in there. And I understand what you're saying, but my thing is, I know there was a point in time where the young people, the elderly say, go sit down and this, and that's what they're gonna do. Now it's to the point where, a lot of times they don't even tell the young people to go sit down. Let me explain this to you. They don't even, but whose responsibility is it? Is it the elderly to teach them, or is it the youth responsibility to listen? Because there was a time, Charles, and I'm going to start your time back up, where if an old person told you to go sit down, I'm going to tell you something, you're going to sit your behind down and you're going to listen to what they say. That's why I say there's a difference. Starting your time back up right now.
All right, but you got to think about what you're saying, what you're asking. It's like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Because when you're looking at older people who don't talk to younger people, what's the reason why they're not talking to them? Mm-hmm. And you're looking at younger people who can't listen, then what's the reason? See, everything usually starts at home. You know, those you're taught those things at home, how to listen, how to sit down and respect people. You're supposed to be taught those things at home. Mm-hmm. So when the family structure started being destroyed, that's when the communication started getting worse. Mm-hmm. Because no man, like if there's no man in the house, then how can you listen to a man? Mm-hmm. Tell you something. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if no man is directing you and a man come up later to try to direct you, how can you accept that when you've never had it? Mm-hmm. You understand? So it's all a practice. It could be a negative practice or a positive practice. You can practice on not knowing how to listen, just like you can practice on learning how to listen. Mm-hmm. You can practice on not knowing how to talk to somebody as an adult talking to a child, or you can practice on talking to somebody.
Teacher, how would you do it? That's my question. Yeah.
Well, so you do it the way it's done, man. Is supposedly done out of love, but I'm telling you, if no man is around, it's hard for anybody to listen to a man. You don't even see male teachers as much as you used to. Mm-hmm. So you don't get those things. And another thing is, you taught at home. You taught respect and honor and the responsibility. You're supposed to be taught those things at home. So if you don't see them in society, it's because it's not a home teaching them anymore.
1 minute, Charles.
Mm-hmm. It's not at homes they're not teaching them. And whether it's because of the man's not being there or what have you, the point is, it's not being taught at home. Mm-hmm. You know, you teach people, your child at home, how to say good morning to everybody and say hello and to speak to adults in an adult way and to watch your mouth and don't curse and things like that. That's what you teach them at home. Mm-hmm. Now, they do come around other entities and other kids that don't do those things, and they'll test you. Your child will test you. Mm-hmm. But your job is to show them what the test brings, mm-hmm. you know, or her. But if you're not there as a man to help run this household, and it's harder for women to do it by themselves, just like it's hard for a man to do it by himself, mm-hmm. then you're going to have a society that shows men aren't around, and that's what it does. Mm-hmm. It shows that.
Good deal. Good deal. Captain Dennis, good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Hey, my brothers from another mother.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I appreciate.
Let me say that. Hold on. The Redeem Award winner, Captain D. Come on now.
Let me say this, dear brother. Thank you, Brother Raheem, and
yes, sir,
and the damn media man who mm-hmm. found me worthy to even give me an award. I thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I have the brothers to receive they rewarded the award on my behalf, and they were very pleased with your program and how it went.
Yes, sir.
But in reality, brother, that what you gave me is really an honor to you. And I would receive it. I thank you. But you are the man that should have received the award, because you have built a program, a platform that these great men and women come on every morning.
Yes, sir.
Every morning, you've given us an opportunity to express our opinion. Sometimes it's just about vetting. We may disagree with each other, but nobody is talking about meet me around the corner. I bet you watch this. You know, ain't none of that. And we try to keep it in a very respectful manner.
Yes, sir.
I listened to what you said on this line, my dear family. And no matter what subject I've learned, I've been on this many times. I've come, not as consistent as many of you all, but it always leads back to the family and the man. We talk politics, we'll go back to the family and the man. I don't care what we talk about. It always goes back to the family and the man. And let me say this as I listen. And let me tell you, I love you, Brother Charles. You my mans in them. I love Brother Leonard. And I mean, listen, man. I listen to what's my man name? I'm sorry, forget my bad in names. That he comes in behind me. He kind of always reinforces me. The brother that gives us the what's the show gonna be about? I'm sorry, forgive me, brother. Just one of them early morning.
Rico, it's my Rico.
Yeah, Rico. I ain't had my coffee this morning, so just forgive me, man. But nevertheless, I just came back from Los Angeles, California. I got in midnight last night. I'm on East Coast time, so I'm kind of sleepy and woke at the same time.
Yes, sir.
But let me say this to you, family. Let me say this as one member of this family, and I thank you for accepting me into your family. I don't take that lightly to be on the line with these great men and worthy men and women. Yes, and sir. I'm not saying this to y'all to blow sunshine up y'all's backside. But I've been around the world. I've been to Africa 3 times. I've been to Libya. I met Gaddafi. I met Yasser. I met Nelson Mandela. I didn't mean I was the minister. I seen the world. And I'm not looking at it from some limited lens from my little city and my little state. Because that's all you can give if that's all you know. If you ain't been traveling, you can't speak on nothing you don't know. Your world is what you see. It's limited at where you at. But there's a big world out there. And let me tell you something. There has been a plan, whether you want to believe it or not. Let me give you a good synopsis. If I was the white man and I knew I brought the people over here and I reduced these people from human beings to savages, took them from a culture of brilliance and prestige and reduced them to shucking corn and to sleeping with the pigs. If I did this to a people, don't you think one day I will always be afraid that payback gonna come? Don't you think one day that God's justice will not sleep and justice will be given to us? Won't you think one day? So my attitude as a white man, I want to stay in the position of power. I want to stay in the position of privilege. And when you see a people rising, and you can't stop our rise, it's to some white people, it's a threat. Their greatest fear, and y'all know this, their greatest fear is when we get into power, will we do to them what they did to us? That's their fear. And we have proven when Obama got into power. That ain't in our DNA. We're not going to put injustice on the people because they put injustice on us. That ain't how we roll. But that's their flow. And so they're going to do everything within their power to keep the black man from being able to recognize his value, from separating him from his woman. You separate the man from his woman, you took away half of that man. And if we accept that as that the norm, and if we don't bow down and swallow our pride as men, and accept what brothers say, yes, we dropped the ball, and somebody to say we didn't, come on, well, maybe you didn't. But I ain't got no problem saying it, because even if we didn't, I like the attitude that we did, so I can pick it back
Mm-hmm.
But the bottom line is, we got to build the Black family back again. We got to sit down with our women. We got to iron our differences out, get off our ego pad, and let's go ahead, man. And listen, we on this line right now. We do a lot of brilliant talk, but we never came together as a group on this line and did one thing together. Not one thing together.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, dear brother. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Can you hear me, Raheem?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm just listening because one, my value system is to value Brother Ibrahim and Captain Dennis.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I get that information firsthand.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to take advantage of that while I can. My parents are gone. My grandparents are gone.
Mm-hmm.
So one, and man, I love Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of me. So one, I'm not one of these defeated Negroes. I was not raised that way.
Mm-hmm.
Brother Ibrahim has raised his family. He has put the time. He has done the work. He ain't talked about it. He's a testament to this day on what decent Black men should be. He's a grandfather. He looks after his grandchildren and think everybody ain't pitiful. There's a lot of so many good Black folks out here you wouldn't imagine because you believe what the white folks told you about.
Come on now. Come on, Leonard. Now you preaching, baby. You preaching.
You don't know nothing about sanctification. I don't care if all y'all running down the street butt naked, screaming whatever you want to scream. I'm not going to be running with you. Now, if you ain't got enough sense to separate real from foolishness, things you should not do, you just willfully sinning. Are you trying to be better? Come here talking about this, that, and the other. I can't make you love nobody. I'm too busy. I've been with the same woman, 2 kids, 23 years. That's my goal in life, to take care of them and raise them in the fear and admonition of our God. I don't owe you nothing. If you ain't doing that, I'm living over here, you living over there. But I'm not going to come over here and try to kill you because I don't like the way you living. You get it how you get it. And if you want something better, come holler at us. But I'm not going to put my people down. I'm not going to do that. Because it's not in me to do that. And so when I hear people sitting around talking about what somebody else ain't doing, are you doing it? Are you cultivating what you desire? Then keep other people out your mouth because you're heaping coals on your own self. And that makes you a hypocrite.
30 seconds, Leonard.
I'm done.
Okay. Good deal.
Man,
good
get away. Take away them gorilla pills he took this morning. Good God.
I miss you, Captain Dennis.
I know that's right, baby. Don't take too many gorilla pills early in the morning like that.
Hold on, Charles. I see you, brother. We got hold on. We got a few more people on the phone line. Let me touch on them real quick. VP, is that either VP or Friday? I don't know which one we got there, but who we got there? VP? Friday? One of y'all on.
Good morning, sir. My bad. I didn't think you were gonna come that fast. I had walked away from my phone. I had to unmute.
Oh, okay. Good deal. Good to have you.
Good morning, brother. Haven't heard him in a long time.
Yes, sir. How you doing this morning?
Refreshed and renewed, sir.
There you go. Hey, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, brother. You got 3 whole. We're gonna give you 3 whole minutes. We're talking about who has dropped basically we got to the point now where who's dropped the ball. Is it the elderly responsibility or the youth responsibility to teach, learn? Do we even care at this point in time? Do we even care? VP, talk to me, brother.
But okay, so when you say teach and learn, what aspect are we talking about? Are we just talking in general? You just let me go.
Yeah. In general, is it the elderly responsibility to teach the young? Is it the young responsibility to listen to what the elderly is talking about? Or why is there such a gap or such a divide in that? And who's really responsible?
Got it. Okay. So when you bring this up, I think my thing more is using stories in the Bible to help me learn, and I guess this is a kind of a good example of it. So in the story of the Bible, or in Exodus, I believe it's Exodus, when they were leaving, and Moses had gave the people, the old generation, the ones that didn't make it in, God had given them a thing to teach the young ones, such as the circumcision, the covenant, the bonds. They didn't teach this to the younger generation. However, they taught the younger generation every other thing they needed, but that one thing. And when they finally got to the place where they needed to go, and it was time to cross, God said, "Not until you do this part." I think what's happening in our society is the older generation, and I'm in the 80s. I'm learning. I'm part of the older generation now. I done call y'all old heads. I'm getting called old head all the time now.
Yes, sir.
Working for Amazon. But what I'm starting to understand is because you go through different trials and tribulations, obstacles, I don't think an older generation knows how to tell a new generation how to avoid some of the newer things. But there's nothing new under the sun. It's just a different disguise that it comes in. So for me, I had to learn that YouTube, although it's educational, there's dark paths behind that the kids can go to by just changing a few words, and they can be sucked in that for a long time.
Yeah.
But if I was just to walk past the iPad and I could see something that looks predatorial, that's always been looking predatorial, then I know how to explain that. Like, I know a bird in the sky is supposed to fly, and an ostrich ain't supposed to. But if I start seeing ostriches fly, I don't know how to tell my kid what to do with that. And that's what's happening with the older generation versus the newer generation. They don't know how to tell them how to be nothing more than what they were taught. But it's not like they were losing the yes ma'am and no ma'am. It's a broader teaching atmosphere in the air now. Like, we can tell people what we've learned. However, you got your people like old boy that just died, Kevin Samuels, and all these other so-called gurus.
30 seconds.
That are telling you something different. So, like, something that I try to instill in Tadeo now is don't be, because Tadeo, my son, he's kind of like a ladies' man at 7 years old, but he's rude. How do you teach someone who, once he leaves here at 7, what are you in my face for? Can I call your name? Someone that's 7 years old, that they can't be nothing more, or they can be more than what this new generation of people are telling him. So he thinks he has to be a YouTube star, and I'm telling him he has to be someone who opens the door for women, or for young ladies, or for the elderly.
Good deal.
Combating between both.
Good deal. Good deal. Let's keep this thing going. I actually at 8:30, I want to go to our topic for the day. So anybody have anything they want to say to this before we move on? It's so many different layers that it's gonna be hard to touch this in 10 shows to touch everything, because there's so many different layers. Rico, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, first off, let me say, Charles, you knocked it out the park. DP, you knocked it out the park. You just came in and said exactly what I said in a different terminology. Things evolve. And the older generation, the adult generation, has to stay in tune consistently to understand how it's evolving. You ever seen a child bring some schoolwork home, and then the parent try to sit down and help them and say, "Lord, I don't know what y'all doing now. This your new math." Because they can't relate no more. So you're going to have to learn from your child. Guess what you're going to have to sit down and do? You're going to have to sit down and listen to your child, or go on YouTube and learn some new trend that you didn't get taught when you was young. But you're going to have to find out how this trend relates to what's going on in the whole purpose of life, and still relate it to that child. I'm thinking about how when Dennis said that we should be coming together to come up with solutions, and how we don't, and it's not going to happen, not on this platform. It may be with a few people, because I see now that some people may have different agendas, or some people have different egos. But I'm going to tell you what I do. I don't accept accountability for things that other people did, but I can say from the outside looking in, and these guys in my generation did certain things, and my generation is responsible. See, I raised my children and my sons a different way, and everybody said, man, you got some respectful sons. And so there's certain things they're not doing that the average young men out here are doing, the ones that are acting the fool. They ain't the best. But now if somebody was to say, well, what's going on, man? It's this young generation. I said, man, ain't nothing wrong with this young generation. Well, my sons. Yeah, but what about the ones that just shot up the schools? What about the ones that just went up? Now, we ain't talking about your son. We talking about these out here that's acting the biggest school, the ones that's destroying the public, the community. So it's really going to be hard to get to that point to where we can come up with a solution.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way I'm built, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, I ain't no professional. I ain't no doctor. But I have the experience myself as a man that grew up without his mother and father, and they lived in the same city. I've been on my own since I was 11 years old. And I saw a lot of people that had a better situation than me that turned out worse because they didn't have the proper training in their home.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have that support system. They didn't have that positive reinforcement. They didn't get that quality time. They had uncles and cousins that taught them toxic things. And they took that on into the world. I just heard a 50-year-old man tell me Saturday night that what happened between Jimmy Butler and Big Cat was Big Cat fault. Jimmy Butler had no choice but to sleep with that man's girlfriend because she offered it to him. No, that ain't the way you think. You don't do stuff like that. So you got 50-year-old men with those type of mindsets that will pass that on to the younger generation. Mm-hmm. And then we wonder what's going on. That toxic masculinity, that bad information. But I try to diagnose, man. You know what I'm saying? I can't fix everything. I don't think I know everything. But what I do is I diagnose the issues. I see what's going on, and I try to understand, okay, that's what's causing the problem. Mm-hmm. It ain't pointing the finger at anybody. It's not criticizing anybody. But if it gets to a point where we say, well, you know what? We can't hold people accountable and tell them that during y'all era, y'all missed doing this and that, or y'all were wrong for doing this and that, then we'll never be able to say anything to white people again about what they did to us in slavery. Because who am I to tell people or talk about what people did or criticize?
Absolutely. Let's keep this thing going. We got a few more minutes. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
No, I was just listening, man, and I'm gonna be real. Even as a counselor, I'm very, very perplexed with what I'm seeing that's happening. You know, and I can't help but when I listen to what everybody said, right? I can't help but think about the fact that although we as men are doing the best jobs we can to raise our young men right, to raise our daughters right, I still am a fervent believer that which you do right, it has to be reinforced in the culture. Like it has to be reinforced in the day-to-day movement and actions of our children. And see, what's happening is, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, I probably am wrong. In my opinion, we trying our best to promote and or teach these things that would create some young longevity to a given young person life. But that's not being reinforced in the culture. Mm-hmm. It's not being reinforced through policy. It's not being reinforced through procedure. It's just not being reinforced. And I mean, it's my opinion, there's a reason that is. There's a reason that is. No rich man makes money off other rich people. We make money off of poor people, off the brow, the blood, the sweat, and the tears of poor folk. So, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's this push to keep a particular subset in our society and our culture ignorantly poor, physically poor, spiritually poor, and emotionally poor. You know, I don't know what to say beyond that point. Everybody made some really powerful points. And I think it's one of them things where we all got to take what we saying, right? and put it in a pot and make some gumbo with it.
Yes, sir.
Because I believe that
30 seconds.
once it come out, it's gonna taste good, man.
Yeah.
It's gonna taste good.
Exactly. We got quite a few people that's on the phone lines. I want to touch each and every one of you before. I'll try to go in the order in which they called in. Goddess, you was next on the totem pole. What's on your heart, sister? You've been listening in for a minute. What's on your heart based on what we're talking about? Who has the most responsibility or the greatest responsibility? The elderly to teach the youth, or the youth to listen to the elderly as they're being taught? Or why is there such a divide?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. I wanted to speak on the attack of the Black family, and that there has been an attack on the Black family, and the brother, I don't know what his name was, but he spoke. He said, once you start respecting the Black woman, that was key. And we had several other talk shows that was the key factor. And once you start respecting the Black woman and realizing that the Black woman is a key factor in the family and it's united to a Black man, boy, that's going to solve a whole lot. I was just watching the other day on TV how, not on TV, on Facebook, how any music that uplifts the Black woman is not something, or uplifts love, Black love, or uplifts anything, is not being looked at from the basic music industry. You look at Jaheim. Jaheim was one of the ones who sang about Black women and Black love and all that. And he out driving Ubers now.
Yeah.
The music, you have to go back to the whole original part, is exactly the music right now is demonic. I don't want to say demonic, but it's killing us. It's killing us. It's killing our youth. And that is what's key, what's going on. You got a lot of young mothers that are sitting up listening to that same music too. And they don't understand what being a mother is about. So they're not even teaching their sons how to be men because the father's not in the picture. Or they feel like it's okay to be independent. I ain't got no problem with being independent, but keep in mind, me being independent does not take away the masculinity for the man. I still want to be provided. I still want to be protected. I still want to be all that. My independency is just the fact that I got you, brother, when something happens to you.
30 seconds, I got us.
So that right there is something that we need to really take a hard look at. That's kind of why I didn't care too much for Kevin Samuels. Some things he was on point, and a lot of things he wasn't. But that's what we need to bring back into is love, marriage, family, and that's what's key. It's some of our old roots that we grew up in that we got to take heed to.
Good deal. Got to keep it moving. Says, hold on for a minute. Let me go to Annie. Annie from Mississippi. Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning to you, sis. What happened? Did the elderly stop teaching? Did the young stop trying to learn? How is there such a huge gap between the generations? And explain to me what happened. Where are we?
You know, I believe the gap came in when social media stepped in, when, like the young lady spoke earlier about the music industry. I believe because the elderly, everyone that I know, love to teach and love to talk and love to tell about how things are supposed to be and how things were back in their day. But the gap came in for me whenever the social media stepped in. You know, as I stated a while back, right now we're in an era where everyone has a cell phone. My grandbaby, I think Journey is 3. Journey knows how to go to certain things on YouTube You know, she don't have no active phone, but she have her mother's old phone.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get next to Wi-Fi, then she got a phone.
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah.
even give you a phone number on Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
You can call out to it and receive calls, and not even have a actual, you know, phone bill and all that. So these children have a phone, and they know how to go on certain things, and they know how to, you know, listen to certain things. And we got to remember that ear gate, you know, that's where everything comes in at,
Mm-hmm.
and it goes on the inside of you. So the youth, I mean, but the youth is not listening. The young people are not listening because they're listening to something totally different. They're
Mm-hmm.
listening to something, you know, they listen to whatever they listen to, and the elderly don't even have a voice anymore, you know, because no one's listening.
Mm-hmm.
If there was no social media, there would be more listening. If there was no texting, no, you know, all this other stuff going on that comes with social media, there would be more conversations.
Mm-hmm.
People would talk more. People in the same household. I went to my daughter's house recently. Her and her husband on the same sofa. Wasn't nobody talking for a long time. The Lord told me to look, and I looked. She had her head down. He had his head down, and they talking to everybody, but they're not talking to each other. So the conversation stopped when social media took over. If you don't believe me, go to the airport.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody have their head down. In the schools, you know, in the colleges, go outside, you know, outside on the lawn. Everybody have their head down in social media,
Mm-hmm.
and conversation have ceased. So it's not the elderly, it's what have taken over this
Mm-hmm.
generation. It's all this other stuff. It's Facebook, it's Twitter, it's all of that. And they putting this music out there, and you can get it, you know, as however you want it. And that's what's going on. That's where the gap came in at right there.
Wow, that's good. That's good. We got a couple other people, and we're gonna jump to our topic for today. Joyful J. Good morning. How you doing this morning, sir?
Good day, everyone. Good day, and God bless you all. I'm doing wonderful. How are you, sir?
Hey, doing good, doing good. Good to have you back with us, brother. What happened?
I've been listening, and I agree with what a lot of folks or a lot of people are saying. I can't necessarily say we dropped the ball, or older folks dropped the ball, or adults, as my good friend Rico would say, or younger people dropped the ball. I think just like the young lady who was just talking was mentioning, we're distracted. We are faced with so many distractions on a daily basis. Before, when we were kids' attention span was only 3-4 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're on, like the young lady just said, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. We're always on our phones. So that's why it's illegal now in a lot of states to drive and use your phone. Mm-hmm. Because more accidents are happening because you're distracted by your phone. You're distracted by what's going on social media, whatever. I think that we've all, as a collective unit, black, white, brown, different, it doesn't matter. We all have gotten distracted along the way.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. Badger, good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good morning.
What happened, Badger?
What happened? Context? We talking about the young versus old stuff?
Yeah, same thing, same topic, brother.
Oh boy. I something happened at least about 20 years ago, because the mentality and thought process, there's differences, and not quite sure how it happened, but what I do know is there needs to be more teachings and focus on love, respect, morals, family, learning how to properly vote, instead of just voting for a party. It's almost like it got so hard to take care of families, primarily in like poor class, that both parents ended up having to work until one got lucky enough to make enough money to pay all the bills. You know, if they weren't good enough or gotten to the right position, they're making minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
So the parents couldn't be home and do things with the kids like they used to.
Mm-hmm.
Things changed.
Yeah.
So when the family unit isn't able to do things together, because not everyone's built from the same cloth.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that can work 2 jobs and come home and do everything around the house and not have a single complaint.
30 seconds.
But not everybody's like that. So I think somewhere along the line, it turned from love, honor, and respect to these selfish mentalities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's good. That's good. Anybody have anything they want to say before we move on to our next topic? We're going to move on to our next. We're going to transition to our topic of the day. Anybody have anything on their heart?
I just want to say thank you. Let me say thank you. Badger hit it in the head. Who was it? Annie hit it in the head.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I would like to make a slight adjustment, man, because this conversation actually opened up a lot of eyes, if you ask me, or it should.
Mm-hmm.
You saw how he said it was social media.
Yeah.
Then he said it was 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
But I think me and you both can say that it happened over 20 years ago because we both grew up in a situation that was completely untraditional.
Yeah.
Without our mothers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so sometimes we have, we ask this question, is there a disconnect? Is there a responsibility for the adult generation to the young and the young? Yes, it is. And we know there's a disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
And we hear it in the conversation. So we'll say, you know what's missing? We're missing those old school grandmamas because now the grandmamas now is twerking. So then you go back and say, well, how you fix it? You just said it. Go back to the traditional old school grandmama.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the last of it. Me and Raheem got the last of that.
Mm-hmm.
So some people going to say, well, it just happened in the recent years with social media. Some people going to say it just happened in 20 years. I say it happened in the last 70. I got videos and documentaries that show you the mindset of women saying, I don't need no man in the house to have a family. The mama, the daughter, the mama, the daughter, and the grandmama.
Mm-hmm.
So, that it's more than what we thought because this thing started before it got to us, but we can only speak on it from our point of view. Now, the purpose of the adult generation is to be able to go back and say, well, hey, we see what y'all seeing, and guess what? It existed 20 years before. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh, somebody fussing over there. Captain, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm back.
Okay.
I'm back.
Go ahead.
And so,
you okay?
I'm thinking about the fact that, we have to really acknowledge the fact that there was a history that went on where we needed to survive. Badger hit it on the head. Remember that term, latchkey children?
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of parents that lost quality time because they had to work, because they had to make money, they had to survive. Right now, you still have people in that same environment where they got to have 6 or 7 different hustles to be able to survive, to have the finer things, not maybe the things that they just need, but also the things they want. And that takes away from quality time. The same type of quality time that we got from our grandmothers, that our parents couldn't give. So like they said, something happened. Something happened where it became common to see children not living with their parents and their parents still living their best life right after integration.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's good that we're having this conversation now because, we have different points when we realize that it evolved again, and
exactly.
It evolved again, and it evolved again.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a process that happened in the past that started this thing off. And that's the whole reason why I say we dropped the ball, because if we knew it, the children and the younger adults would know it before they start saying that it only started with the internet.
Good deal. We're gonna move on to our topic of the
incarceration.
Hold on.
Could it be mass incarceration?
Goddess. We don't do it like that. My thing is this right here. I want to move on to our topic for the day, and actually it kind of lines into what we was talking about already. Slavery and the chain being removed. The chains has been removed from our bodies, but have all the chains been removed Captain, have all the chains been removed from our minds? Captain? Captain, you there? Let's go to Joyful J. Joyful J, talk to me, brother. Have all the chain has physically been removed from our bodies, but have they been completely removed from our minds?
I don't believe so. I don't believe they've been completely removed from a lot of our minds. I can't speak for everyone. I can speak for myself, and I can speak for, as the person said when I was listening earlier, the surrounding area that I grew up in or where I've visited. But I believe so because whenever, even if you're driving down the street in the car and a cop is behind you, you tense up. Why? Because you have that mindset that, you know what, something's about to happen. Mm-hmm. Or you go to a store or you go to a business or whatever, you know, getting on an elevator, you make sure other people get on first because you want to be respectful. You say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. So I think that after slavery, it's just like the thing with the fly. You put the fly in a jar with a lid on it. The fly keep going up, hitting his head. You take the lid off, the fly won't move because he thinks he's still captured, if you will, or contained when he's free the whole time. I think that's what it is with our people today.
Mm-hmm. Good deal. Good deal. Ibrahim, what do you say to that, man? The bounds of slavery, though the chains has been removed physically from our bodies, have all the chains been removed from our minds?
No, I think a lot of slavery today is imaginary, you know, but we're really enslaved by just surviving day-to-day life in the context that we look at it in, you know, because you got to have that one more thing. You know, you're trying to be better. You're trying to learn. You're trying to state yourself to be over another human being. It's a world of competition, you know, of each human being individually and collectively. So we're enslaved by our lifestyles. You know what I mean? And but the slavery that of old is imaginary, and we try to use that as a crutch to to really make statements about what's really happening today. It's a crutch. It's to say, well, I can't do this because of the slavery that happened in my happened generation before me. It's in my blood, or the slavery of my ancestors, or the slavery of this, the slavery of that, and fail to look right in front of you and see the slave is being slaved. The master of the slave is you. You're enslaving yourself, you know, to your ideologies and your differentiations of everybody, how different you are, how unique you are, and how disconnected you are. You know, the master don't need to use no whip. You got the whip on yourself. You don't need to enslave you or to keep you in prison. You have your own self in prison by your own dilemmas, right? And a statement was made earlier about a gentleman, you know, when he talked about the I. He said I was mentioning I, and I was talking about my life experiences, right? He's saying what I seen on documentaries. Well, I did this. Now you had the opportunity to learn somebody that lived that life, that was involved with Reverend Shuttleworth. I knew him when he died. He knew me as a young man at 17 out there in the movement, in the field. You know, so people like that, right? Why don't you take advantage of us instead of accusing us for dropping the ball? Maybe the ball was dropped, and maybe you didn't have because you didn't have a father or you didn't have a mother. I lost my mother at 13. My daddy raised me. I was raised by a man. I was raised by my mother to be responsible. She taught me everything she knew. So when she died, my dad had to do nothing, go to work and come back and check on us. You know what I mean? And, you know, so I know what it is to be without a parent. My grandparents died before while I was a baby, you know. So my grandfather was born in 1858. You know, I never heard nothing about slavery. My family come from a long generation here in Georgia. They say we were Creek Indians. They knew nothing about slavery. They saw slavery. They knew about slavery, but they weren't enslaved because they were free in mind. You know, they had an obligation, responsibility to bring up generations after them to do better, to regain control of their land and the resources in this land, and to establish themselves as a dominant species. That's what you do. You know, but as long as we keep, you know, we don't take responsibility of self, our own individual actions, and that was brought up earlier too. But this is your job. This is your obligation. Why are you going to blame your ancestors? You don't even know what they did. You don't even know what. All you know, you seen documentaries that you heard this, you heard that, or your life focus showed you a different thing altogether. You live in a different city.
30 seconds.
Okay, so I'm saying to you is that we have ability right now to learn what's going on right here in this group. There's so many different opportunities to learn, but we seem to be arguing and bickering rather than learning. That's it for me.
Good deal. Good deal. We're gonna keep this thing going on, Captain. I tried to come to you. I think you had something with your connection. So what's on your heart, Captain? Chain has been removed from us physically, but have the chains of slavery still, is it still attached to our mind? Have we released those chains, Captain?
Well, you know, I heard the minister said that when Abraham Lincoln, he did not free the slaves, he emancipated the slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And those of us who don't look up the definition of words, we think freedom means the same as emancipation. But no, it only means that I have freed you from my hand, but I have not freed you from my control. That's emancipation. I freed you physically. You're no longer limited. You can go anywhere you want, but I have not freed you from my control. So Abraham Lincoln was very wise when he used the word emancipation.
Mm-hmm.
He knew what he was saying. I'm going to free you Negroes from my hand, but I'm not freeing you from my control. He also said, as long as you live among us, you will never be treated as our equal.
Mm-hmm.
So I suggest that you go back to Africa. And some of those talented 10 Negroes said to him, we have left nothing back that we want to go back to. And in Liberia was started because there were some blacks that went back to Africa. That's from the slaves here in America, in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
So there's people, and I do believe that our people have not been free in their mind, because look at here, brother. We are continually letting people define our reality.
Mm-hmm.
You got people want to define what a man is. And we so screwed up that we got 50 different definitions of what a man is, and there's really only one. But we keep letting people define us.
Mm-hmm.
When the people, you don't have to wonder how come we separated and we don't have we're not teaching. Man, we got away from the culture. We did not come over here in America with no culture. We adapted to this wicked dude's culture.
Mm-hmm.
We had a culture. We didn't have to, what happened, they broke the tradition. That's why we pass on as elders to our children. They broke that tradition when they brought us over here. But if you look at, and when I went to Africa 3, man, I'm telling y'all, Africa ain't what they told y'all it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got this image of Africa. Niggas with bones in their nose, they savages. I thought that. Go, man. How can you say you black and you don't even have a desire to go back to the motherland? At least take your children. Take your children.
Mm-hmm.
Stop going to Jamaica, Trinidad. Take your butt back and you will have a different mindset. Trust me.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. But I do believe we are like that, brother.
Yes, sir. And that's my thing. I tell people all the time, man. That's my life goal is to go to Africa one time. I just want to go there, man. It sounds crazy. It sounds real crazy. But just to lift the sand, to have the sand to run through my fingers.
No, it ain't crazy. That's nothing crazy. Now stop saying that. It ain't crazy.
Yeah.
That's
mm-hmm.
sane. That's sane. That's very sane. Not going is crazy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Good deal. Charles, talk to me, brother. The chains have physically been, the chains of slavery has physically been removed from our bodies, but have they been removed from our minds?
For some people, it hasn't been removed from their minds.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, it have.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about black folks.
Yeah.
And to me, I think, and this goes back to what you were saying to me in the beginning of the elders and all this, that, and the other. Your elders had the responsibility of removing the chains from your mind,
mm-hmm.
and teaching you how to remove those chains from your mind.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what a man believes he has on me,
mm-hmm.
it's up to me to make him a liar or make him tell him the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So you can think on me that you have me in a quagmire or in a certain way, that I'm still that way. But if I don't believe it, and if I move in certain ways that shows that you don't have me that way, then I'm the winner.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't speak for everybody else. You understand? But I can speak for me and my children and my family, and how I teach them that, and how my parents taught us. Because you understand, my parents were entrepreneurs, and they worked with everyone who came. You know, my dad had a body shop, and white, black, everybody came through there, and we didn't. He didn't treat the white people no different than he treated the black people. He charged them all a lot of money. Same way with my mom. She made clothes. She didn't treat the white people no different than the black people. She charged them all a lot of money. You understand? So our minds in our family have been way gone from that. A white person over me or anybody over me because of my skin color. My skin color ain't never been a handicap to me. You understand? It's always been, you know, a one up to me. I've always been taught that you the man, y'all the man. This is what y'all do, and this is how we do. Slavery affected us a certain way, but it's not going to constantly keep affecting us. You're going to win. You have to win because that's you're a winner. So your mind has been free. So your mind free. Now put your butt to work and do the things you need to do for your kids and for your kids' kids.
Yeah.
You understand? But in certain mindsets of people, yes, they are incarcerated in their mind by slavery, and certain people are not. And that's just what it is. You can't. Nobody can take nobody. Everything that happened to me in my world, it's been my fault. You understand? If it ain't my fault, it's been my parents' fault.
Yeah.
That's how we control things. We control it by saying everybody that happened to us because of us, because we could beat it. We could have passed a lot of things. We could have beat a lot of things. We could have passed a lot of things, but certain things we didn't do because of us. Not because of Jimmy Joe down the street or how he felt about me. You understand? How you feel about me is feminine. I don't care. It's not going to stop what I'm doing. Either you're going to get in the way and get rolled over, or you're going to get with the program. And that's what I teach my sons.
Good deal. Good deal. Let me go to Joe for Jay. What's on your heart, brother?
I'm just agreeing with what Charles said. Like I said, I can't speak for everyone. I can only speak for myself. And then from what I've seen, some people are still in that mindset of I'm still in slavery. I'm not really free yet. They blame it on other people. They blame it on themselves. All I can do is speak for me and my personal self. I live my life to please God and God only, and my wife, of course. After that, I'm just trying to live and be what's the word? Drama free. There you go.
Good deal. Good deal. Rico, talk to me, brother. The chains of slavery has physically been removed from our bodies, but have they been removed from our minds?
For some of us it have, for some of us it haven't, but if you don't know any better, you can't do any better. There was a culture, a behavior that was created during slavery that sometimes you still see it. And it's sort of similar to people being bred and sold, except now they ain't being sold, they're just being bred and left. You know what I'm saying? But you have people that will say, oh, no, it don't exist, it don't exist. You might think that, but it don't exist. Well, you have people that still love and they savor the cuisine of that leftover hog that was the scraps that the white folks left them. We love us some chitlins. Yeah, it's there, subconsciously. Sometimes you don't know it. So going back to what we were talking about the last time, that's the whole reason why you should understand tradition and why the adults should pass down true knowledge of why you even eating chitlins in the first place. Why you run around here making babies and don't even care about family in the first place? Because they broke you and told you, just make us some babies so we can sell them like pit bulls. But no, we ain't got that slave mentality. Every man is taking care of his child and staying in the household. And it ain't no women out here pinning babies on dudes. It's not happening. Yeah, it's going on. It's still deep. But if you don't know any better, you can't do any better. But Raheem, man, look, I done tried, man. I think what I'm going to do, I want to just listen the rest of the way. And then I think I'm going to take me up a career in building statues. And I'm going to just come on here and listen to everybody, and I'm going to make a statue for everybody. That's what I'm gonna do. I don't want to talk no more. I don't want to give no more of my perspective. I just want to listen.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I want to do from now on. I mean, I'm gonna call in and listen because my battery will go down too fast. It'll die too fast if I look at you on Facebook, on social media.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna call in and listen.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as talking from now on, I'm done, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do it no more.
Okay. And what's on your heart?
You know, invisible chains are the very worst to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
As someone stated earlier, they gave an example about the chains being removed, the physical chains, but when those invisible chains are there, those are the ones that the world can't see.
Yes.
But they're there.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it right here. Think about all the depression that's going on in the world today.
Mm-hmm.
Think about all the, the suicide and all that. I understand you're talking about it from a slavery point of view, but I'm talking about it from just some life, itself, just some being a part of life. Think about a woman that's been abused by a man for 20 years, and even though when the man is gone, psychologically, there's something still there, So those are the ones that's really heartbreaking. It's really, really heartbreaking because even after the damage, after the person that damaged you, that hurt you is gone, the slavery is gone, but the mindset is still here.
Mm-hmm.
So one thing about the mind, I done a study on the mind a while back when I was in school. The mind can be retrained. You can retrain your mind. You have the authority. You have the power to retrain your mind. And that's what many people don't understand. It doesn't matter what may have happened previously. Let's talk about it from a different angle. Think about a person that was out there doing alcohol all their life, and all they know is alcohol. And when they get ready to, to walk away from that, and they start sobriety, they have the power to retrain their mind. I don't care what people may say, but you have the power to retrain your mind. So we have that power to not let those scars endure forever. We have the authority to not let that slavery mindset endure forever. There are some people right now, young women, that have the mindset, and I'm not talking about nobody, no color, just everybody, young women in general, that have the mindset of poverty, Section 8, all that mindset is there, that mindset. But there are some people that have the mindset that I'm not going to live this way forever. This is only a moment. I'm only here for, temporarily. But there are some people right now that have been in that position for years.
Yeah.
And have no plans on coming out of it. That's the mindset.
Yeah.
That's the mindset. So we have the power ourselves to retrain our thinking. You can retrain your own mind.
Wow, that's good. That's good. God has talked to me. Badger, coming to you next.
I think the brother hit it earlier on all points. It's about learning who we are. Africa, finding out our tradition. Our tradition is key. Our tradition is key to our health. Our tradition is key to who we are, where we come from, the melanin in our skin, and how powerful it is. But we can never come to that because we are enslaved, and we still have an enslaved mindset. And as far as people fail to realize, there's a difference between religion and Christianity and being spiritual. And a lot of people don't realize that we were already in the divine presence. So we had divinity already within us because our melon was already part of the universe. A lot of people don't realize that. They feel that they also they don't do their history. So when things come about, and that's why this new COVID-19, it's not nothing new. But this COVID-19 brought a new awakening for a lot of people. Started doing natural herbs, went back to doing a whole lot of traditional things that our ancestors did and talked about. And a lot of the things that people ran to because somebody told y'all to do it, a lot of people ran to get the shot. Come find out it didn't do anything. You still caught COVID. And a lot of it killed a lot of people with taking the shot. And then a lot of it hurt a lot of people that didn't take a shot. So they failed to realize that all these projects that was taken out, Operation Mockingbird, Operation Seal, there's a lot of different projects that was going on that we forget. Agenda 21, Agenda 30,
30 seconds.
Monsanto, the Aspartame Project. Like a lot of people are failing to realize they're not reading, they're not going back about the Skull and Bones Society. They're just not going back to what all we talked about, the Council of Nicaea. When they look at the Council of Nicaea, the pastors don't even talk about the Council of Nicaea. They don't even bring that up. They pick and choose what they want to do. I learned a lot when I was running for office.
Okay.
And you've got to call. You have got to turn around and be open-minded. You have got to go back to our roots, and that's the key factor.
Sis, we got to keep it moving. Your 3 minutes is up. We got to go to the next person. Let me see. I said I was going to go to Badger. Badger, what's on your heart?
Man, this topic. I think in some ways we still are. In some ways we're not. We still have to fight for health care. Still have to fight to vote. Having to fight companies over price gouging. Being able to work a full-time job anywhere and be able to at least pay rent somewhere. So affordable living wage. And I've been having more conversations with different people that have been taught certain mentalities, and some of them have learned to overcome it, and some of them haven't. It's a lot of things are going to boil down to perception. All right, so they don't really give us much access to vote in this county. Well, what keeps us from voting in another county? Only ourselves. So we've had to learn how to work around the system and deal with corruption for a long time, for multiple generations. So I guess in some ways, terminology, because a lot of the people I've talked to would use the word slavery. We're slaves to the government and the corporations. I don't think that word is quite fitting.
30 seconds, Badger.
Yet at the same time, with where we are in society, what's to say we're not?
Wow. We're gonna keep this thing going, and I've been holding on from this fella for a minute, and I'm going to go to him right now. Y'all put your seatbelts on. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother?
Man, I'm listening to these various things, and I think to address the question that you addressed initially is I wanted to mention 1 Corinthians 13:11.
Okay.
When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child, and I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. I've been a man too long to fall for bull. And one, I would hope that every man would have enough fortitude to stand up for himself and establish whatever it is he wants. If my grandfather, who had 13 children, did not allow slavery to encumber him, I definitely won't allow it to encumber me. He lived through it. 13 children, same woman, left at night in Arkansas. His main goal was to feed his family and provide for them. Now, if he didn't make no excuses, I sure won't. I can't. You Negroes romance on this slavery thing too much.
Is it that you had that example, Leonard?
They really do.
They were all around me. I don't know. I don't know black people that don't try. They not close. Those that don't want ain't gonna have. I don't waste time with that. You know what I'm saying? You can't make everybody do what you want them to do. Like one, everybody ain't gonna serve the Lord. They just not. So this thing, I don't know. Well, you keep talking, but you don't know. Go know and then come back and talk. But don't act like everybody else stupid because you don't know. You want to sit here and believe that the black family just ain't this, just ain't that. That's what they show y'all in the news. What you need to do is focus on people who are making certain choices. If a woman says she don't know the man, I'm not gonna argue with her. But then I ain't got to worry about being her man neither. You heard me? I'm not your father. I'm not your none of that. You choose how to live how you want to live. And I'm not going to knock someone for what they want or what they desire. If the outcome is negative, then you should be about changing that. Like Moses said, you ain't got to change. But God will open up this earth and swallow you all whole if you don't want to. Do you understand? Ain't nobody gonna beg you to do right.
30 seconds left.
Ain't nobody gonna beg you to support your family. That's your responsibility. And you men out here calling yourself men, you want too much. And you don't want to give nothing. You're supposed to be the standard. You establish your family. It starts with you marrying the woman that you impregnating and raising your children. That's on you. That ain't on me. That ain't on Charles. That ain't on Raheem or nobody else. That's on you. You get your act together before you come in here trying to tell a grown man like me what to do.
Good deal. Good deal. Good deal. Keep it going. Keep it going. Curtis, coming to you, brother. What's on your heart? Talk to me. Come on, Curtis. Your time rolling, brother.
On the positives. I'm gonna keep this on. I don't have too much to say, man. I'm like Rico. I'm listening right now. But I am gonna say this. I'm gonna keep this on the positive side of things. What you're seeing is the beginning phases of a population of people who are breaking those chains. You're seeing the very beginning phases of that. You're seeing the reunification of, as much as we might not want to believe it, of men actually coming back home. And of black women realizing that, you know what, no, I need this dude here. Hell yeah, you still got a percentage of folk. You still got a percentage of folk that, okay, I don't need, That's always a percentage all the way up until they get about 32, 33, 35. And you sat down with them same ones that had that mentality. You sat down with them at 35 when a certain level of honesty has to hit them not only in their minds, but in their heart. Man, I tell you, like, man, I need a dude here. So I'm really not, I'm not dismayed that we finding ourselves in the situation that we're in, because I know that the situation is changing. Maybe it's not changing as fast as I would like it or as fast as other folks would. But I mean, You heard Goddess talk about the vaccine earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how about the fact that probably 85% of your folks that's like not taking it because of the situations that America has done over the years against black folk is young folk. They saying, I don't trust that, man. How'd that work out for Miss Avery's boys? How'd that work out for the Tuskegee Airmen? How'd that work out? Blah blah blah. You know,
30 seconds, Curtis.
Government did blah blah blah. So,
Good deal. Good deal. Let's go to Willa. Willa, good morning. How you doing this morning? BP, coming to you next, brother.
Good morning. Good morning, Ryan.
Good morning.
Good morning, team. Good morning, team.
Good morning, sis. Good morning.
I got to say, Rico, clear your voice every now and then. Speak some wise words. Whatever you're going through, don't allow it to take over. I hear what you're saying. We're human. And just like Leonard said, Leonard is a no-frill guy. I'm with him. But, unfortunately, everybody is not like that. We live in a world called humans. Well, no matter what color we are, I'm just a people person. That's where I am. And we are enslaved. We're slaves. And the young lady said it earlier. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And the gentleman said it earlier. The choices that you choose in life. So the Bible says that you should read it for those who believe in Galatians 5:1. Read the whole thing. What it says. It says that we're free because of Christ. We're free and do not bond ourselves back into slavery. So when it says that, it means the slavery of life. Those choices that we make that puts us back where he took us out of. Drugs, alcohol, women, fast living, whatever. You want to name it, it is what it is. So just look at it that way and say, if I believe in something, I have to focus on what I believe in order not to be in bond and be back into slavery by my choices. So I know I only have 3 minutes, Raheem. Give me 3 minutes more.
Okay.
Amen.
Absolutely.
That's what I got to say right now.
Okay. Good deal. Good deal. I said I was going to go to next. Hold on. I said I was going to go to somebody next. Who I said I was going to go to next? I can't even remember. But let me go to Charles. Charles, what's on your heart, brother?
It's because you're getting old, man.
A little bit.
You know what I'm saying?
A little bit.
Man, you gotta take your ginkgo, man.
I love it, man. I love it.
I know it, but you gotta take your ginkgo and stuff. Take your vitamin, bro. Your mind, man. You know what I'm saying?
You said eat a gecko. You said eat a gecko.
Eat a gecko if you want to and see what happens. Goofy. See, that's your mind going again.
What you say? You say eat a gecko.
Eat a gecko if you want to. You're gonna need more than some gecko insurance. You'll be a trouble.
Exactly.
Clown. Crazy joke. Hey man, I'm agreeing with everybody. Well, yeah, I'm agreeing with everybody. I mean, but to the slavery question, like the way you asked the question, you're speaking of the American slavery, correct? As for that, again, I'm gonna say, minds can be enslaved, but going back to what we talked about earlier, of the older generation teaching the younger generation. The older generation should, to me, should have been teaching the younger generation that it is not a slavery of the mind. You're not enslaved of the mind if they weren't enslaved of the mind. You get what I'm saying? Because like I can look back at my grandfather, and he never spoke about it. You understand? He was a hustler. He hustled with everybody. He was a Muslim. Started off in Nation of Islam, but he hustled with everybody. He was a hustler. He never spoke about slavery. As of in the negative, you're still enslaved, Charles. He never did that. So just like what Leonard was saying, if he ain't never done it, and his mind was never enslaved, and he can move all across the country the way he wanted to move, why wouldn't I be able to do the same thing? And I'm from him. You get what I'm saying? If it didn't stop him, then how could it stop me? And I'm generations
Yeah.
You understand? Younger than him. You know, I don't get it. But in a way, that's how the ball had been dropped. Because if your family members haven't taught you, and I'm saying family members, not just somebody off the street, if your family members haven't taught you, or maybe they didn't know themselves. You understand? You got to remember, like, even during Juneteenth, somebody came by and told them they were free. And they didn't believe it, so they went back into slavery until somebody else came by and told them they were free. And then they said, okay, I'm free now. But when the first set of people came and told them they were free, they were like, nah, we ain't free.
Stop playing.
Stop playing. But it was black soldiers who told them. When the white soldiers came and told them they were free, then they were free. So it's all, I guess it's all who tell you that you're free makes you understand if you're free or not.
Yeah.
See, my mom and dad told me that I was free to do anything and be whoever I wanted to be. And I was the dummy to believe it.
30 seconds, Charles.
And I believe them too. The same way I'm teaching my kids. So I guess who you believe.
Who the messenger.
That's it. That's even better that way. Who's the messenger?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. I say I was gonna go to VP, and after that, coming back to Captain. VP, what's on your heart, brother?
Sorry about that, man. Then I got this refurb phone. It just drop calls when he wants to.
Oh, okay.
I was going to read the definition of slave, what it was, but then Charles went and put it up for me. So I think one part that we were missing about slavery, because it's easy with the American culture, especially being a man of color, that we tend to think of slavery as the whips, the chains, moving cotton, but pre-manufactured age. But we also got to think of slavery as in the definition that I was thinking of is a person who is excessively dependent upon or controlled by something. And I believe that Annie that said something. I think it was Annie. Don't give the wrong credit to him, but they wanted to bring up the drugs and everything else. You got to think of what's keeping your mind in slavery. Like Leonard brought up with you eat. When I was a child, I talked like a child, I spoke like a child. When I became a man, I eat like a man, I spoke like a man. It doesn't mean that's not an age thing. That's a coming out of mentality. So we started the conversation about grandparents versus new age. Where's the gap myth? And we went through all that, and just to come to find out that the problem is not that the grandparents and our parents weren't telling us, don't be slaves. You are free. Find if you're in the Christian path, find your release in those avenues. It's more of what are we jumping into to become slaves? Like the frog in the boiling water concept. You don't know you're boiling if they're turning up slowly. So I wanted that. It was a while. It's been a while now, but I wanted to speak on the young lady that said that women have this thing now where they're being taught to be independent. That's a slave mentality. Because if you're Christian born, then you know that it's not good for people to be alone. And having an independent mentality means that you could do all by yourself. And somebody was saying that the return of the black men coming back into families is showing the difference of what we have gotten away from, what was taught for slave mentality to keep people in a certain way. So now we're reincorporating the black family across everything, social media, across in the schools and in the finances and in education. And people are wondering where this has been. It's only been almost 30 years since they really stopped it. And to be only 30 years and think of it as a phenomenon is a slave mentality.
Wow.
That means they wanted you dependent on something else. They wanted the women dependent on the government.
30 seconds, brother.
On how, keeping them in certain cases. And although mass incarceration is a thing, and they say that was using it for black men, it was also if you kept black men away from a family, that kept a growth in them that they needed to do to be something as equal in this society. So if we're allowing the social medias and these false gurus to tell us how to be, if we're deciding to shake down the BBLs and all that because they think that's going to bring in the easy financial package, but we ain't got to do the work after that. You're slowly this new age of Instagram is turning us all back into slaves, and it's not slaves for one individual owner master. It's a slave for a brand.
Good deal.
It's a
Good
slave
deal.
for a lifestyle.
Got to keep it going, brother. Hold on. Stay right there.
My
I'm
bad.
gonna come back to you in just 1 second. Captain, I know you've been jumping at the bits, brother. What's on your heart? Captain, you there? Captain may have stepped away for a second. We have another caller. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, sir.
I don't get no introduction.
Yes, sir.
I don't get no introduction.
Hold on. No, hold on. What's your name, sir?
The good bishop sounds
My name is Gregory Adams.
I know. Is that the Redeemed Award winner? Gregory Adams, that's the same one?
That is him. That's the Redeemed Award winner.
Yes, sir.
Good.
Good morning, sir. How you doing this morning?
Well, I'm doing very well.
Yes, sir.
Give me the topic I heard, and I'm hearing something about slavery. That's the topic that we're dealing with this morning.
Yeah, we're talking about. We said that the chain of slavery has been physically removed from the physical body, but have they been totally removed from our minds? What do you say to that? What do you say to that, Bishop? Talk to me.
Absolutely not. And no, the chains of slavery. You're correct. They have been physically removed from the body, but not from the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people a lot of the time when we're having a certain conversation, I said, the mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Mm-hmm.
You need to enlighten your mind. Stop, feeling a certain way where the man did this, the man did that, or they this and that. You put yourself in a prison or enslave yourself in a situation that transpired many, many moons ago. Now, what we have to do is we have to move beyond what was to walk into what is. Listen to Leonard when he was talking about his grandfather raising 13 children, and he grew up during the time where slavery or just coming out of slavery to that end was still there, but we were still subject to master.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are still subject to master today.
Yes.
When they began to denigrate black people and talk negative about one another, but yet they won't say nothing too bad about somebody's white. And I really hate to make it seem like it's a black-white thing, but the reality is they value white principles and white authority as opposed to valuing black authority, black principles. They want to gravitate to everything that Master said and make it seem like he's right. I ran for office, and here's the deal, and this is so sad, is that the people say, well, a white guy, he committed a crime, and he was convicted, he was in prison, but he ran for office, his name was on the ballot, and he won in prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I ran for office. Somebody put out a false propaganda about me. I defended it. It was dismissed and cleared. But then they said, well, he did this. And this coming from black folks, not white folks.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying to myself, oh, what in the world is going on? So my own people turned against me. Well, that's the same thing that Malcolm said. You got the house Negro and the field Negro. Mm-hmm. The house Negro served master. The house is on fire. He up there with water, like with master, trying to put it out while the field Negro are blowing and hoping the wind continue to blow so they can burn the house down.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. But we got issues that we have to really deal with and we have to face. And it's what they indoctrinize and how they instill certain things in us to keep us in prison. And we're still in prison in our own mind. We're still enslaved in our own mind.
Mm-hmm.
So it's what somebody fed us.
Exactly.
And we gravitate and hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to build one another up. I applaud you, Raheem. I'm going to say it, and I know you're going to give me 30 seconds. But I applaud you for what you did on Sunday, the program that you put in place.
Praise God.
And how you allowed individuals that have had or gone through horrific situations to give them and honor the Redeem Award. And I looked at that and I said, now this brother right here is an architect of trying to bring people out of their situation, out of their mental slavery, to show them, hey, here's your reward for going through and for persevering through all you went through. So I applaud you, man. The Redeemer's Award was great. I was glad to see my boy Leonard there. You had a great panel of people, a great list of recipients who went through different, trials and during that situation, but they came out victorious.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Raheem.
Hey, thank you. To God be the glory. Yes, sir. And I was looking for something. I was a little distracted when I was bring you on. I couldn't find it, but here you go. Leonard.
The good bishop.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, I couldn't find it at first. But let me go. Jay, you got something on your heart, brother. What's on your heart?
Yeah, I agree with everyone. The Bible again tells us we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, spiritual wickedness in high places. That mind is and again, it's all in your mind. It's not what goes in that defiles, Christ said, but what comes out of a man. Mm-hmm. So we have to continue to evolve our brain. Like every day, because of my brain injury and I forget things, I have practices to train my brain to remember stuff. I do things most times the exact same way, or I leave things in the exact same spot because I'm training my mind to remember where I put things. I forget things in 20 seconds. I forgot, but I try to remember, big things, or I'll put things in places that help me remember things. I'm training my mind again, and this has been since 2006. I'm training my mind to remember. So slowly but surely, I'm noticing that I'm remembering a lot longer now. So it's all about training yourself. It's all about, in my opinion, about renewing your mind daily.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. VP, now I just left VP. Let me go back. Oh, let me see. I was going to Willa. I hadn't talked to Willa in a minute. Willa, what's on your heart?
Raheem.
Yes.
You remember the peanut characters, Lucy and Charlie Brown?
Yes.
But Lucy had that psychology group for 5 cents. Charlie Brown was her first customer. And he came to her and he said, I need some advice about life. And Lucy said, well, on a cruise ship of life, some people put their deck chair in the back of the cruise ship because they want to know where they've been, what's holding them back, what's keeping them from moving forward. And some people put their deck chair in the front of the cruise ship of life because they've arrived. They got their minds where it needs to be. They transform. And then Lucy asked Charlie Brown, say, Charlie Brown, so where do you place your deck chair? And Charlie Brown said, I can't even unfold my deck chair. So I'm just saying that we bond ourselves sometimes just through finances. We work 20, 14 hours just for material things. That's slavery, whether you know it or not. You smoking cigarettes, and every day you got to have a cigarette. That's slavery. I need a Pepsi, RC, or the Haagen-Dazs ice cream right here. That's the whole slavery.
Somebody like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Somebody like Haagen-Dazs ice cream. I don't know who it is, but somebody like it.
So in some kind of way in this life, I know I'm trying to make a joke out of it. We bond ourselves some kind of way.
Exactly.
So to be transformed, so the renewing of your mind and making the right choices in life. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. We got to believe that life, because there's only 2 things for sure. You're going to live, and the second one is you're going to die.
Yeah, absolutely.
That dash in between is how we choose to live our life and how we choose to be transformed.
Exactly.
And that was my second thing.
There you go. There you go. Hey, Captain, you back with us? Captain, are you there? Ibrahim, you with us, brother? Let me see. I think is Ibrahim on mute. Make sure I don't have it. No. Okay. Ibrahim is now with the Badger. Talk to me, brother. Badger, your time started, brother.
I know. I'm just. I agree with Public Citizen. There is a difference. There's always going to be a difference in mentalities in the society. There's going to be people that's not going to understand the same words. Or understand the same word in the same way. So one of the things I've been having to learn is if they think like you, if you get along with them, they get along with you, they're probably part of your tribe. Don't matter what race or whoever they are. But if they don't, they're not part of your tribe. They belong to somebody else. There's always going to be hateful teachings out there, and just as much as there are good teachings. So, to me, when you hold on to hatred, you're going to promote it. When you hold on to love, you're going to promote love. So, either if it's always going to boil down to Are you truly passionate about a topic? Or are you angry about a topic? Because even for me, talking about what was done to my ancestors can be really difficult. I get passionate, but I also get angry. So I have to keep that anger in check, because I need to focus. I need to learn from the past to focus on today, to promote for a better future. And to me, that is the mentality we all need to focus on. Learn what we can from the past and what people have done in the past to help us get to where we are. And then the ones that are hurting where we are, if they're in an office that can actually make decisions, we WE as a human race need to put aside our differences and these negative teachings, work together, so when our kids and grandkids inherit everything, they ain't gonna have to fight so hard.
I'm just wondering, Badger, you said we, WE. Is there a different kind of we, brother?
No, I just want to make sure everyone understands that,
I'm just,
because
don't pay me no
I'm
attention, brother.
tired of separation thought processes.
Exactly. Hey, don't pay me no attention. I'm just, I got to be comical. Captain, are you back with us? Yeah, I see you say you're back now. You with us? Okay. We some reason we can't hear you, brother. I see you there, but we can't hear you. Is it muted on your end? Ibrahim, can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, there you go. There you go.
All right, I'm sorry. I had to take them earbuds out my ear.
Okay. A comment was made in the chat. What on the chat side? See, there's a difference between black and white perspective principles. There's a difference between black and white principles. That
are you asking me?
Yes, sir.
Is there difference?
No. He said there's a difference between black and white principles. Do you agree with that comment?
Yeah, I definitely agree with it. I mean, there's no question that, I listen to my man Badger. He be struggling, man, because it's hard to do with the color thing, being he's my brother, but, it's very, so he keeps it more on a humanitarian type of conversation. I hear that come out of Badger, or he goes straight politics on you. But, it's not to make him feel uncomfortable, any white person. Maybe first thing I need to do is when I speak, do my disclosure and say, listen, to all the white people, I respect y'all. I don't hate white people. I got white friends, and I'm not talking about you particularly, but about the system that had put our folks. You didn't have nothing to do with slavery. We agree with that. But don't become so sensitive when we talk about it. That's our cross we got to bear. At least just be quiet, be empathetic, and stop trying to tell us, when people say black men are angry, that's the first thing white folks say. Angry black man. Why we got to be angry when we speak the truth? Maybe you confuse compassion with anger and anger with compassion. But now we're not angry. We very compassionate, but to some whites we sound angry. There we go with that angry blacks hating. No. But we know we still in this condition. And we can't act like racism don't exist. There's a lot of good European people that have moved beyond the color thing when it comes to us. When the Black Lives Movement started, I see more white folks out there protesting for justice for. I said, look at here. So we are arriving, but we still got issues. And sometimes it may look offensive to white people, but you got different, white privilege is real with white people. We don't have what you call black privilege. No, I wish we did. In certain circles we may. But basically, this is an all-dominant white male society. And for us to act like that doesn't exist, that's BS. We represent 13 to 14% of the population. You can't tell us that we don't affect it. But the bottom line, we are moving past this pain. I like what we're doing, family. Again, we cannot let people define define us. They can't define our pain. They can't define our hurt. They can't define our struggle. They can't. So when I said some of you are scared to go to Africa because you're gonna wake up and you may become disappointed that all the stuff that you believe ain't real.
Mm-hmm.
You may wake up and come back, you know, with a long African name, Tulubu, King of Zamunda. But then you went over there, Willie Green. What happened? I'm different now.
Yeah.
Because that's what it does.
He said
We
he
get
went over
back
there,
to our
Willie Green.
culture. We get back to our culture, not theirs. But you can only find our culture on the most richest continent on the planet. It has all the oil, has all the diamonds, have all the gold, have all the natural resources, titanium, and we live on that. That ain't a coincidence. You're very rich people. Get back to who we are and where we are, and stop letting people define who we are.
Good deal. Good deal. Cassandra, good morning. How you doing this morning? Oh, hold on. Redeem award-winning Cassandra. Good morning. How you doing, young lady?
Good morning.
Cassandra asking a question. Though the physical chains of slavery has been removed from our bodies, has the chain been removed from our mental? Are we still in mental, some people in mental bondage?
I believe that some people are. But I wanted to address someone said about women being independent.
Yes.
Earlier. You know, that to me, I've dealt, you know, in women's ministry over 40 years, almost 40 years now. And I talk to women of all races, all backgrounds, I mean, on a daily basis over the 40 years. And women are not independent because they want to be. Let's make that clear. I mean, most of us, let's put it like that. Most women, especially Black women, we're not independent and by ourselves because we want to be. The man has left. We had to take up our cross and bear it by ourselves with our children. And so for that reason, we had to be independent. And many are still seeking. I'm talking, I deal with women 20 years old, 30, 40, 50, 60, some as old as 70, that are still desiring to have a man in place, but they are not available. Either they want to do multiple women or whatever, and that's not what most of us want. So if we're independent, believe me, most women are not independent because they want to be or out here doing this because they want to do it by themselves. They have no choice. They have no choice. So I just wanted to say that, you know, I just don't want people to think, you know, we're just out here wanting to, you know, well, I don't need no man, because very few women that I talk to say, I don't want no man. I mean, a tiny percentage say that they don't want a man.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And that's good information to know because as men, we don't know that because, you know, we get caught up on some individuals that say different things like that. And we paint a picture with a wide brush and we really shouldn't do that. Jay, what's on your heart, brother?
I'm agreeing with the young lady who just spoke. Again, there's a lot of women who really do want to be in a relationship with a man and let the man be the breadwinner and all this other stuff, be the head of the house. But they're not afforded that opportunity because, again, the limelight, you see videos where men got to be around a whole bunch of women. Men got to get the bag. Men got to, you know, be womanizers, if you will. And so that leaves women to be by themselves. And I mean, that left women to be by themselves, that and going to jail, it's a whole bunch of things. But as that happened, women did become independent because they had to become independent. And then once they became independent, it left the man who's now one who does want to come back feeling inferior because now you got this big, strong woman who can do it all, really. And it's like, you're in the background. What do you do then? Because the roles has been reversed on some in some respect because of our own choices, our own decisions, and you know, outside influences as well. So I think that's that was great what she said. That there's a lot of women who do want to be in a relationship, in a committed relationship. I'll say it that way. Committed relationship with a committed person who wants to build together. One thing I love about my queen, and I always call her my queen, her family laughs at me because I say that. I treat her in the highest regard because we're building together. When I met her, we were building together. And every day, we a little brick here, a little spackle here, but we're building together to build our lives together. And so I agree. I appreciate what the lady just said.
Absolutely. Bishop, talk to me. Bishop, you there?
I gotta get you on mute.
Okay, what's on your heart, brother?
Cassandra said something, and I'm glad to hear. I wish I'd been able to see her on Sunday, but we know and understand things. But her words were so profound as it relates. Women are forced; they're put into a situation that they have to be independent and not rely on a man. And then you don't want every man that's coming up in your home anyway. But they would love to be with a man. And I hear women say, I don't need a man. I don't need a man. Well, okay, you don't need one. You don't need one to breathe. You don't need one to live. You don't need one to eat. True. But it's okay to have one, and it's okay to be without one. It's your choice. But don't dare think that this world will continue to exist and revolve without the assistance of a man. And if we want to try to, I think they're getting so far away from the word of God. And I heard Leonard quote the scriptures earlier. But one scripture says, the woman is by the man, the woman is from the man, but the man is by the woman. You still need that man, and the man still needs the woman. And I don't like hearing people say that, make that silly phrase, I don't need a man, because the woman came from the man. See, so, you hear all this stuff, and we in a time where, they say right is wrong and wrong is right, and they're trying to, make the last be the first last, all that the Bible talks about, all that. But we're dealing with an issue that we really need to pay attention to, is that the mind has been so corrupted and so convoluted that good sense and good logic has completely been thrown out of the window. And instead of gravitating to things that's going to make things better, we grab hope to something that's going to make things worse, because our mind is in prison. We're in a slave mental state of being.
Absolutely.
And it's time to wake up and realize that all this doctrine that has been instilled in us, this hatred that has been instilled in us, still have us bound to this very day.
That soundtrack.
We walk around with our eyes wide shut. Meaning they're open, but you're oblivious to what's going on around you. That's exactly what that means.
Wake up,
open up your eyes, pay attention, and don't get caught up in the okie doke, because that's all they're doing.
Time for thinking ahead.
But it's bamboozled.
Wish I could hear.
We did all on hoodwinked and ran them up.
Exactly. Somebody was singing, man. Somebody was hitting the note while you were talking.
Horrible track.
Somebody was hitting that note. God,
I'm sure that wasn't his theme music.
Somebody did good. Somebody, I don't know who that was, Leonard, but you might have heard it. Ibrahim, what's on your heart, brother? Ibrahim, unmute yourself. I think you muted over there. Did I do it? Hold on. There you go.
Okay. All right. Yeah. This has been a powerful conversation, but I see like a lot of us still stuck in ruts, right? We cannot get out there rut and move forward. You know what I mean? Because, just like, I hope you had that show on video where I can see it on YouTube or something. I'd like to see that, what you did, a Redeemer Award. Because I remember you telling me about some of the people that had experiences that were so harsh at beyond my pale of understanding, but I could empathy for the pain that person was suffering. You know what I mean? And this gives you, when you have empathy with people, you can understand a person's life and where they came up in. You know what I mean? And that makes the person. Your tragedies and that makes the person. Show me a person that never experienced tragedy. That shows a shallow person. That makes the person. That makes the woman. That makes the man. And I want to see that. I want to know that, right? So I know who I'm talking to when I talk to them or when I hear them speak. Maybe we can have a dialogue that both our ears are open up, both our hearts open up. But we don't have dialogues. We have statements. We have innuendos. We have these conspiracy theories, right? And that we cannot breach because we still have the same thing. It enslaved us to a backwards mentality. Now, if we could move forward a little bit, right? I mean, the past is good because that is part of your experience. That tells you where you're at in the present
and predicates or predicts the future. You know, we need that. But we need to move forward with that information. We need to put that information to work. We need to do work. Like one gentleman said that we are family here and we have yet done anything together. I mean, you did something. You throw that thing. And I wasn't there, a part of it. But you know, we need to do something as a family together with all these ideas to see how this comes to actual work. I got work for it. We got communities that are falling apart. Hundreds of people are dying a day in our black communities. But other circumstances is that we're not particular. Anybody can walk in a black community and kill as many as they want and walk out unmolested. You know what I mean? I mean, literally. And we want to talk about police, and we don't talk about our responsibility in our own community to keep our community safe for men, women, and children. And another thing about independent women, right? I've been around independent women all my life. And I call them my mama, my mama and my sister Eartha, and a few others in my family. Very independent women, right? I have no problem with independent women. But as long as we are on the same page, right? We're a team. You know, if she gonna say, well, I'm independent, I don't need no man, well, hell, I don't need no woman. I need a woman for one thing. I'm straight. You know, I'm retired. I'm straight. I don't need you for one thing, but I will go into that role of being a surrogate for your children. I will go in that role of being a surrogate grandfather. I will go in that role in my community that all children matters to me, right? But don't tell me you don't need somebody, because everybody, all we need is love. Da, da, da.
Oh Lord, there he goes. Sing. What on mute button? There. Let me put him on the mute thing.
Go to the corner. No singing.
Yeah, he got to go on straight on over there. He got to go straight on over there. Let me go, Curtis. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother? We got Toussaint with us. We want to touch him. Charles, come to you as well. Curtis, what's on your heart, brother?
You know, gentlemen, the time has come. You know, I'm just going to say it plainly. The time has come.
Mm-hmm.
Because we not only have to come back into our communities and protect those who are innocent from those who wish to exploit, but we also got to protect them from those who are paid to protect them as well.
Mm-hmm.
There's some things that's going on in these inner cities, and it's being authorized. It's being approved, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the main reason why it's going on, because when you look at the historical data and the historical information that's there, there was a push and still is a push to remove the man from his community.
Mm-hmm.
If you remove the man from the community, then you can control whatever happens in the community. I charge people, I say this at least once a week on this show, I charge people to read the Willie Lynch letter so that you know what's going
Curtis,
on. You know,
go talk directly into your phone, brother. You're just a little bit low, Curtis. Talk directly into your phone for me.
It's because of my voice.
Okay.
I'm losing my voice.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Okay.
I mean, I say it every week. I say, look, man, reread the Willie Lynch letter. If you got any doubts, any questions about what's going on in our culture, in our society, in our world right now, read the Willie Lynch letter. It just don't just read it just from the perspective of being black. Read it from the perspective of being a human. A human, because he even, in the letter, he even tell you about if you're the owner, how you can control your own people.
Mm-hmm.
He tell you about, give them a false sense of leadership. Give them a false sense of purpose. The whole while you're controlling their leadership. You're controlling their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And they will then have
30 seconds, Curtis.
as well. So, huh?
No, I said 30 seconds.
Man, I don't have nothing else to say.
Now finish your thought, brother. I'll just let you know your time. Your time is coming near.
Yeah. That was it. I don't have nothing else to say about this. It's time for us to come back. Those of us are trying, but it's a hard fight out here, man.
Absolutely,
it's a hard fight. If y'all did what I did for a living every single day, I want to set my car right now, man, and I want to cry till I cannot cry no more. I'm hoping that the heavens open up
Mm-hmm.
because I'm forced to sit by and watch young kids, black, white, candy stripe, completely annihilate themselves.
Mm. Wow.
There ain't nothing I can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Charles?
What's up, bro?
What's on your heart, brother? Talk to me. We got a few more minutes to get out of here.
I feel Kurt's pain, man. I understand what he's saying.
Exactly.
My thing is, man, and he is correct about the Willie Lynch letters. It doesn't just specify just how to control blacks. It specifies how to control everybody, and to make people fight each other and everything. But going back to the first question as the slavery thing, man, I think it's a mindset. And some people's mind, like you said, some people's mind are not released only because they were not guided to get them released. Everything is a lesson. You have to even learn how to think. You understand? We have to, if you don't practice thinking, then you don't know how to think. If you don't practice being analytical, you won't know how to do that. So everything is a practice. And that practice comes from, to me, your parents, your grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
And if they didn't do those things, to me, the ball was dropped. If those things weren't, if they weren't done.
Got to mold the clay.
Correct, because the clay can't mold itself.
Mm-hmm.
You know how the old fishers say, you got to go get him because he ain't gonna get himself.
Mm-hmm.
The clay
mold the clay, Cletus. Mold the clay, Cletus.
Because if you let the clay mold itself, then everybody gonna be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So the ball was dropped in a lot of different instances, but like I said before, it's been a lot of slam dunks. It's been a lot of scores.
We're gonna do something tomorrow. Let me stop your time, Charles.
Go ahead.
We're gonna do something tomorrow, man, and I want all y'all to be here. We're gonna do something. We're gonna do a debate tomorrow. We're gonna get two different teams, and we're gonna debate where the ball drop. We're gonna select two captains on the debate team, and we're gonna separate it down the middle, and we're gonna have a debate. Where's the ball really dropped? We don't have to do it the whole broadcast. Hold on, we don't have to do this the whole broadcast, a piece or part of the broadcast. Even if we just do for 30 minutes and have a 30-minute conversation about the ball being dropped, I want to have a pro and a con team. Charles, I'm starting your time right back up right now, bro.
Okay, and that might be fun tomorrow because tomorrow is Wild Out Wednesday. So
yes, sir. Way Out Wednesday. You like
Way Out Wednesday? Yeah, I am. Hey,
yes,
Rico Wednesday. No, but check it out. But
Rico can't get that.
Honestly,
Way Out Wednesday right.
I think everybody on here agrees that in one way or another, things have been laxed or something wasn't caught in one way or another. Now, and I believe everybody on here understand in one way or another that it's been a lot of scores, meaning that a lot of things were done right. Even in your life, a lot of things been done wrong. So you got to think about it as a whole people. If you can't look back, and I heard somebody here, if you can't look back at yourself and understand you've done something wrong, then something wrong. Just like 8 people. So if one person can do it, then 8 people can do it. I can't wait for this tomorrow. I'm in.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
I'm in on this thing tomorrow, bro. I'm done.
Y'all come in early. Come in early, man. Because like I said, we're gonna do this thing. We're gonna do this thing early in the morning. And like I said, I don't think it's gonna be the whole broadcast. It's probably gonna be a piece or a part of it. But I think we really need to have this conversation. Was the ball really dropped? Toussaint, you there?
Yes, sir.
Toussaint, we talk about the physical. Yes, sir. We hear you. The chains had been removed. Physically, chains of slavery have been removed from our bodies. The chains has dropped to the ground. But are a lot of people's minds still trapped by those same chains? Toussaint, talk to me.
Yeah, a lot of people are, but that's not even an issue because it is what it is. So what it was, I don't know what I can say, but I saw something that I'm gonna use for an example to know that it can be. We can still do what needs to be done in a simple little thing that we all can relate to. Her name is Talia Crawford. She starts a race and comes out of her shoe. Remember the little girl?
I remember the name, yes.
She starts the race and loses her shoe. she turns back, puts her shoe on, and continues in the race.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are. We lost our footing.
That's good.
You can still grab hold. It's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have, and we started off with the fact that we got this gap between our youth and our elderly, but we're still there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a form of communication. We just got to figure it out and grab hold to the momentum. And you may be able to get one of them, but guess what? If you get that one, they can communicate with their friends better than you can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We don't have to get a crowd of them. Just get one. Work on one of them. In your whole group, you may be able to sit with one teenager and have a 15-minute. You're probably not going to have no more than that.
Mm-hmm.
15-minute conversation with them. If it's 10, and you have that every other week or every other day or as many times as you possibly can, and keep talking to them. Don't worry about what they're doing, because you did some of the same things.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Exactly. That's good. That's
we
good.
Can't be down on them all the time and think they're gonna listen. Who wants to be in a company of people that always criticize them?
Exactly.
Always I wish I would.
I wish a Negro would. I wish a Negro would.
So I'm just saying.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. VP, talk to me, brother.
Hey, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it's 10 o'clock, so I'll be quick with it. Listen, everybody, it came to my attention because I want to pull up this verse and then just explain what I was thinking about it. So just ask you, Raheem, when you see a chain, what do you think of?
Bondage.
So, but a physical one. How does it look? Most chains, or all chains that I know of, are linked together with something.
Yes.
Most of them aren't just one solid rope. But if you think of a chain, there are a bunch of individual rings linked together. So in 1 Corinthians 7:22, it says, and remember, if you are a slave when the Lord called you, you are now free in the Lord. And if you were free when the Lord called you, you are now a slave of Christ. I would ask people, what are you chained to? What are you linked to that's keeping you from being free? Regardless of how deep or how big the topic can go, it's always going to be individual. People understand they're slaves because they know what they're linked to. Free from bondage all we want physically, mentally, it doesn't matter. Just like we need to understand that when Lazarus went into the grave and Christ called him out, he told other people to release him. Let's not forget during this whole time of us being linked to chained and getting rid of slavery, we also need to understand we also need to help those who are in bondage be released. So they can have a new life once they understand that they've been unwrapped.
Exactly.
That's how I'm living.
That's good. That's good. Cassandra?
Yes, sir.
They say that you feed what you love. Do we sometimes feed the idea or the mentality that we're still in bondage?
We do. We do. And sometimes we inadvertently do. I mean, I know that there are times that my thoughts are not where they should be, on certain subjects, and I become captive in my own mind on certain subjects. But I try to evaluate and reevaluate my own self on a daily basis. I think that's what we should all be doing. Just check ourselves every day to see if we're thinking the right way, if we're talking the right way. And there's many days that I have to pray and repent.
Yes, absolutely.
My very thoughts. I don't, and I'm easily to admit my fault. I will do that in a minute. Because if you make me mad enough, I may say a cuss word.
No,
say that mean I ain't saying, but
not
that's
you.
on y'all.
Not you, Cassandra.
Because I have to know my relationship with God. But yeah, you know, yeah. So I'm quick to check myself. I will check myself, and I think that's a part of growth when we're able to say, hey, you know what, that was messed up. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't mind doing that, and I hope that we'll all do that on a daily basis.
Exactly. Well, is we at the top of the hour? It's time for us to get out of here. Anybody have anything to want to say before we get out of here? Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
I just wanted to say, and I appreciate what the young lady said just now, but I feel the same way. Everything that I've been through, all of my mistakes, and I still make some, have made me the man that I am today. So I don't wish to take anything away that I've been through, because I would not be the loving and the God-fearing man that I am now. I would probably still be out there running, doing crazy stuff. But I'm thankful that I was able to learn from everything that I've been through, so now I don't do those same things again. So that's me renewing my mind.
Good deal. Good. Anybody else have anything to want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. You know, if we actually want to realize what's going on between the young and the older generation, first off, we have to ask, why is there a disconnect and what's causing it? And in the process of finding out what and why we are having this disconnect, some of the factors might point back to us.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not for us to say, well, you criticizing me or accusing me. Sometimes we just have to admit, like Donald said, we just have to open up and say, well, you know what? We did have some failures. Don't mean that you completely failed. Nobody has said that the older generations have failed. We have said that the ball was dropped. That means there were some failures in some places. I mean, true enough, we are in a better place than we were in the past. But in some places we are when we talk about the family. But Charles said something earlier about respect and honor, man, and that goes a long way, you know. But if you really want to know why we can't connect because if you don't care about the fact that I didn't grow up with a mom and a daddy, I don't care about your granddaddy with your 13 kids. See, we can't get together. If you don't care about this one side, then why should the other person care? If the older generation doesn't care about how the younger generation sees things, and they don't never listen to them, they always just want them to listen, then why would the younger generation care about the older generation? See, this actually started from the fact that Badger made the comment, and also comments that I've witnessed and seen and heard myself of younger generation of people saying that they can't wait for the old people to die. Not retire, not pass the baton, but die. That's how this all got started. And so we wondering, why is there a disconnect? And we look on this platform of all these educated, eloquent people, and they can still be so disrespectful and unconcerned about a person that didn't grow up with a mom and a daddy.
Anybody else have anything to say?
So when you see and we ask these questions, why is there a disconnection? That's why. We are inconsistent. We preach and we talk good, and then sometimes we'll turn right back around and we'll do something to divide ourselves, to divide people that we should be linked with. So, I mean, really, truly, this is a whole, this platform, everything that happened today really is an example of why we really can't even understand why there's a disconnect. And then also seeing part of the reason why there is. There are many more factors, but that's one of them. If you can't get people to respect and honor each other's condition or situation, then you're going to have that. And the older generation can't respect the younger generation's conditions, and if the younger generations can't respect the older generation's conditions or situation or experience, then you ain't gonna get no connection. And we just sitting up here talking for fun.
Okay, good. Did anybody else have anything? Anybody else have anything before we get out of here? Give me your quick words, because we gotta get out of here. We gotta go.
Well, something that Dennis was saying too, and
I just wanted to
the
thank
pickleball Rico.
Sandra.
Hold on. Somebody's already talking. Hold on. Go ahead, Badger.
You know, something that Dennis mentioned on, and to pick up off what Rico was saying, you know, a lot of y'all were taught white people have white privilege. I was taught, and a lot of people like white-skinned people like me were taught we had less privilege than black people. So here's these conflicting mentalities, when in reality, it's from the same source. We're to think we're less superior, less than, can't get in the college, can't get this, can't get that, but y'all can. But in reality, y'all are just in the same boats that we are.
Divide and conquer.
So, huh?
Divide and conquer.
Divide and conquer. So yes, I try to approach it from a human standpoint, because I also have Native American ancestry. I know what was done to my Native American ancestors. I know what was done to my Irish ancestors. So could it be compared to what y'all's ancestors went through?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, but that's a perception thing. Could it not be? It's going to be perception.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is, in one way, shape, or form, at least one human being on this call has had at least one ancestor that was a part of some kind of genocide or mass murder or conversion or whatever.
Wrap it up for me, Ben. We
So,
gotta get out of here.
in a nutshell, if we don't learn to get along, we ain't going to succeed.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. Goddess, I think you wanted to say something, sis?
Yes. I wanted to speak and tell Sister Cassandra, thank you for reiterating and going into detail, because I think a lot of people don't listen to what people say. They just take certain parts and run with it. And that's going to be a key focus, especially when the women, you can't reach the young if you can't reach the women. If men and women can't come together on an actual understanding, then you can't really go to the young.
Mm-hmm.
Because the women are the ones who raised and bore the youth.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be able to relate to the woman as well.
That's
and
good.
A lot of people don't relate. One of the key things that we talked about was the independence of a woman. Well, nobody heard the fact that I said that, yeah, I'm an independent woman, but also that I need to have a mate. Somebody who's strong, somebody who's for a protector, a provider. Nobody heard that part.
Mm-hmm.
So that's because it was selective listening, selective hearing, and understanding. But it also comes to the fact that taking time out to hear each other and listen to what they have to say.
Mm-hmm. That's
and
good.
They're dividing, as Kirk would say, the divide and conquer, the Willie Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
It still continues to be in play with us back and forth.
Good deal.
Back and forth.
Good deal. Anybody else have anything to want to say before we get out here? We got to go. It's already 10:11. Anybody else? Captain, what's on your heart? Captain Line is going out again. Anybody else have anything before we get out of here? Good. I thought I heard somebody about to say something. Cassandra, you there?
Yes, sir.
What's on your heart? I know you got some on your heart. Talk to me. I can feel you got some on your heart. I can feel it.
Yeah, no, yeah. Can somebody bring me some butter and some cranberry juice? Well,
Lord. Hey, I told you what I do. I'll bring it to you, but I'm gonna leave it on the porch. I'm gonna ring the bell and keep going. I done told you.
Is she feeling better than yesterday? You feeling better than yesterday, Cassandra?
Cassandra?
Yes.
Rico said, are you feeling better than yesterday?
No, I'm not. But I, as you guys know, I have COVID from my New York trip. So so it's a little rough right now, but just pray for me.
Absolutely.
I have, yeah.
What's the butter for, Cassandra?
Mm-hmm.
I need butter and because I need to make some grits.
Oh, I didn't know what you was gonna rub the butter on. I don't know.
Oh Lord. See, Ibrahim, I'm muting your line, brother. I'm muting your line. Where's line at? Where's line at? Hold on. Let me mute it right now. Lord, my Jesus. Captain, what's on your heart before we get out of here? Captain, we still can't hear you. I see you talking, or your thing is flashing, but we can't hear you. Can't hear you, sir. I see you talking, but we can't hear you. Jay, anything on your heart, brother?
Again, I'm just appreciating what everyone's saying. And Again, I know how to do right now because I've made my mistakes, and I don't want to go back and feel those things. I was drinking and driving. I know not to drink and drive or drink in anything at all, because that was my downfall before. So I'm not going to put myself in a situation that's going to be detrimental to my growth, especially growth in Christ.
Absolutely, absolutely. Captain, trying to catch up with you before we get out of here, brother. Can I hear you? Nope, can't hear you.
You have him muted?
No, he's not muted.
Huh.
I think it's a connection. Go out and come back in, Captain. Go out and come right back in. I'm gonna go to Leonard. Leonard, what's on your heart, brother? Why Captain do that?
Man, I was good to hear from Miss Cassandra, and something she said
Yes.
made me think of this thing in the Buddhist community. The happiest people I know are always evaluating and improving themselves. The unhappy people are usually evaluating and judging others.
Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful. Captain, can I hear you? Oh, he went out again. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. I don't want to leave. I feel he got something on his heart he want to say to us. Y'all, Rico, I hope you're ready for this. I hope you're ready for this, brother. Toussaint, go ahead, Toussaint. What's on your heart, brother? Ain't no telling what we about to get. Toussaint, talk to me.
No, the thing about what we do is, and I don't know, when we can't agree, our next step is to discredit, and that ain't right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You'll never get nowhere like that.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. There you go. What's on your heart, Captain?
Man, I'm glad. I just want to read this part of the scripture, man. And John 12, everybody's reading scripture. And Jesus said, go into the village over against you, and straightway and you'll find an ass tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me. And if any man say unto you, say that the master had need of them. The colt and the ass represent the elders and the youth. And that's how we know that both are tied, but we have to let the youth be that colt, but both tied. We need one another. So God got need of both of us. And I thank everybody. Thank you so much. Everybody, hey, Badger, you know I love you, man. You my brother, man, for real. And I appreciate you, man. And believe me, and Leonard, man, you know, I just be looking to get me a shot of Leonard in the morning. You know, everybody get a shot of Henny. I just want a shot of Leonard. That's all I want. You know, God bless everyone. You, amen, Charles, man, Curtis, and Rico. Now I remember your name, Rico, because I remember that Rico app. But anyway, I had to pay attention to that. And Bishop and Cassandra and everybody, thank y'all so much. Y'all made my day, and I'm gonna keep this conversation going on after I get off with other people. Thank you so much.
Hey, God bless you, brother. God bless you. Rico, what is going on, man, at 3:00 today?
Man, if you missed today's broadcast and would like to see the rebroadcast in its entirety, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on www.dkmmediagroup.com.
Yes, sir. I hope y'all are ready, because I'm going to call her name. I'm about to call her name. I know she's here. Will!
Come on, Raheem. Come on, we need them today.
I'm about to.
Yeah, we need them today. We need them. Yeah, y'all just don't know. Y'all need them today, man. Because I swear I had a whole lot of other stuff I was gonna say.
Amen to that. Amen.
Yeah, Willa, we need bring him, usher him in. Willa, come on. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Father God in heaven. Yes. Father God in heaven, Lord, we thank you first for allowing us to get up, to commune one to another. Father, we come into your throne boldly this morning with expectation. I pray that we all may be used to lighten each other's burdens and each other's lives, Lord. Let us be strong and of good courage. Let us not fear, because you did not give us the fear. Lord, we love you this morning. I'm asking you to touch Cassandra, oh Lord. Father, touch her body, Lord. Father, you said it in your word that by your stripes that we're healed. And we believe that it's already done. Father, we believe that we're canceling anything in our life, anything that he thinks he got planned for her life. Lord, we know that you've already done it. Father, I'm just touching each and every last one on this line. Father, you know their heart. Father, touch their heart. Lead them, guide them. Give them some understanding. Show them your way and line them up with your will. you, I honor you, and I glorify you in Christ Jesus' name. Amen, amen, amen. Give us a wonderful day.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen again.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
See, and that's the thing right there. Regardless of what goes on throughout the day, whether we agree, disagree, argue, or whatever, it's always good to have someone to bring that at the end to restore that peace and that love, to let us know that we are family and we do have this. We have the same Father. We have the same Father, regardless of whether we are family. And the funny thing about family, man, family ain't always get along. Family ain't always get along. There's gonna be something, and I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna give y'all. Can I give y'all some advice before we get out of here? Can I give y'all some advice real quick? If y'all look, ain't nobody say yes, so I guess that's a yes. Ain't nobody say no. If I'm gonna tell you something, if you're always looking for the crazy person in the family, and you're trying to figure out who the crazy person is in the family, you could never figure it out. It might be you. Might be you. You might be the crazy. I got this little thing, the little pen I made. I say, how the thing go? I'm trying to get it right. I want to get it exactly. I'm gonna show it to y'all tomorrow. I'm bringing the show to y'all tomorrow. But it says, maybe you can't find the peace. Maybe you can't find peace because you're the one that's causing all the hell. Maybe you can't find the peace because you're the one causing all the hell. Look, sometimes you gotta look in. Don't look outward. Sometimes we gotta look inward and find out what is really going on. And I think there was some Disney, but say look a little deeper, or something like that. There's a little song that say look a little deeper. Sometimes we gotta look just a little bit deeper within ourselves, find out what is in ourselves and what need to be reached and poured out of ourselves, so that we can be better for everybody. Fair enough.
How much of a problem can that be if you can't ever see that?
Yeah, we have to look inward, man. Sometimes if there's an issue, look inside. Look at that person that's staring back at you in the mirror. Ask the question, what did I have to do with this? What responsibility did I have? Yeah.
Accountability.
There you go. On that note, we're gonna get out of here, man. It's 10:20, man. Y'all owe me 20 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all owe me 20 minutes now. I will get it back. Somehow I get my 20 minutes back. Yeah, I might start 20 minutes late tomorrow. But anyway, yeah, it's been a great broadcast. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. And more than that, I want to thank you for allowing DKM Media Group and Associates and the Morning Glow for being a part of your day. It is now 10:21. You're about to exit the Morning Glow. But before you go, I want you to do me two favors, if you will. One, I want you to continue to pray for us because we're certainly praying for each and every one of you. Number two, why this is real simple. I want you to go out there, find somebody and give them a hug, because you never know. It could be the only hug that they get, or it could very well be their last. Love you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a great day and a better tomorrow. And then we shine some of this light on you from the Morning Glow. Take it out there into this wicked and cruel world that we live in, and let your light so shine. If you get an opportunity, give somebody some love. You just might find some love in return. Won't that be a beautiful thing? Have a great day. Take care of each other. And please, please, please be blessed. Love you.